Audio. Rob.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to D&D&D&D&D campaign number 2 of Black Ink and Blue Blood. When we last left off, the party finally came back to the sunlight of the surface world for the first time in weeks, and found that the Sundragon lands were under siege from Troppu and his airborne fleet. The goblin and his apprentice are leading an airborne charge, laying waste to everything they pass, and leaving a trail of constructs behind them. As the party snuck their way under the eyes of the constructs that Troppu left in his wake, eventually escaping them with several well-placed attacks and well-executed strategies, the party combined their talents and came together, and with minimal loss of life and limb, managed to make it to the base of the airship itself, and discovered that engraved on each construct is Kaloum's signature iconography. The Scar Concord scientist, Dr. Ampere Kaloum, is active once again, this time plaguing the party with an array of automatons that Troppu is using in substitution of traditional manpower. With what could easily be a now fully automated airship waging war against the city of Capacitas. We will pick back up. As you guys recover from your battle with the hypnotic plasticine serpent construct, you all take a moment to actually take your surroundings in a bit more detail now that the active threats to your person are dealt with. All around you are the swirling sand dunes of the desert outside of the Sundragon land of Capacitas. In the distance, you can see the open polar sea stretching out into the north of the world. Immediately around you is the scattered belongings of refugees who have been cut down by the constructs, attempting to flee deeper into Sundragon land to escape Troppu, but from the looks of it, were cut down and had their belongings repurposed to create new constructs, which you guys witnessed firsthand as the moment the serpent managed to snag a part of Lucian's dress, they attempted to stitch it into themselves, thereby extending their design. How much of this is the automaton's own thinking and how much of this is Kaloum's design is unknown. Stretching out ahead of you to the west, down the slopes of the dunes, you see Capacitas itself. Still a bit of a distance away from you, but you're able to at least make out what's happening. You guys see that an army of constructs like the ones you've seen, the robotic felines, the mechanical dragons, and the automated serpents, are literally clambering over each other in an attempt to breach the Sundragon walls. You see the great walls that are erected around Capacitas are mounting defenses, and a pitched battle is taking place. Felines and serpents clamber on top of each other like ants, trying desperately to reach the top of the walls, only to be cut down by archers and Sundragon warriors. The dragons swirl, firing the harpoon guns from their tails, taking archers off the walls and throwing them down into the unforgiving mechanical mass below, only to be shot down themselves by Sundragon archers. And while you can't see the queen herself, you can see periodic waves of fire emerging from the battle, which you don't see any of the constructs doing that, so you presume it is likely someone of importance to the Sundragon army. And frankly, from what you guys know of Queen Sundragon, she is absolutely the type to insist on fighting in the battle herself.
Oh, absolutely.
Overall, the Sundragon army is managing to hold strong against this overwhelming onslaught, but turning your attention upward, for the first time since Mercurial, you're able to take in the full extent of the airship. It blocks out the sky several miles in all directions. It seems to have, again, a very ship-esque thing to it, so it's a lot longer than it is wide. So while its width overall is not that impressive, although even that is a rather noteworthy 12 miles, you can see that it extends for more than double that lengthwise, with various balloons and blimps tying off the sides and two massive ones holding the entire structure together. The airship itself is not overly decorative. It appears rather plain and function oriented. But you do see, while you're only seeing the back of it, on the front, you can see a dragon figurehead is mounted on the front of the ship. And every so often, this dragon head will open its massive mechanical jaws and fire out a massive beam of magic that immediately obliterates part of the city below.
Well, that's
The
the first
airship
thing
seems
to
like it's
go.
the airship seems like it's more than capable of sustaining this, and every so often you guys can see these little pods drop from it, and whenever they hit the ground, more of these constructs emerge and join their allies on the walls. The airship itself is not crazy high in the air, but still a pretty good distance up. Definitely far outside the range of any archer. And even siege engines could likely be struggling. With that said, as a pitched battle at the walls of Capacitas takes place a considerable distance ahead of you, but the airship itself hovers loomingly over your heads. You're not under it yet, but you're about to be. You're just on its the tip of its stern. Yeah, the stern is the back. Just at the tip of its stern. As the airship hangs above and the pitched battle takes place before, what would you all like to do?
All right, I'm gonna get on Ruby and kind of look at the others. Are you guys ready to do this?
Yeah, I'm ready. And I will have Raccoon and Caro, I guess, if she's okay with it.
Yeah.
All right.
Zephyr and Caleb. Like Ruby could hold how many more?
At most, Ruby can hold 2 people.
So
And even
Caleb,
then, they'll be struggling a bit.
Caleb, would you want to go with Lucian? And Zephyr, I can give you a ride up, or are you staying down here? You never did say.
It said, well, I mean, I thought it was planned that y'all could just go, and I have plans down here.
All right, Caleb, are you coming?
Yeah, I'll come.
All right. Lucian on Ruby's back. The Pteranodon gives a bit of a hop to place its talons on Caleb's shoulders, and pressing a beak into his collar to lift him up that way, seeming like they're more using the talons as a stabilizer. And Gil, hoisting up Caro and letting Raccoon climb
Hopefully
onto your
Caleb
back.
doesn't fall out of his clothes.
Yeah. Gil, I assume you're going to use the rocket boots.
I am.
Okay. With a click of your heels, you are able to start flying into the air with Raccoon and Caro in tow. And Ruby gives a and starts flapping their wings, and with Caleb in their beak and Lucian on their back, starts taking off into the air to follow in their master's wake. Gil, what is your flying speed while you have the boots? I will assume you're dashing unless otherwise stated.
My flying speed is the same as my walking speed, which is 40.
All right, so I'm assuming you're dashing.
Correct. I want to get up there as fast as possible.
Okay. So right,
As
so-
for me, I want to drop off Caleb. I'm gonna go for these. Do I see any sails? Do I see how this is like being suspended in the air?
We'll get there in just a moment. So, Gil, just for your
Okay.
reference, you can use your rocket boots to get up there, but you will use up half of their use for the day because it's a half-hour flight, even while you're dashing. So basically,
So
I
it's a one-way
believe you're.
trip.
4 hours.
Well,
Yeah, like that. Oh, do they last for 4 hours? I thought they last for an hour.
well, no, it's not
No,
an
no,
hour.
they last for 4 hours total.
Yeah, I don't think it's not. I definitely know it's not an hour.
Okay, I thought it was on. Well, okay, well, regardless, you still use up a half hour. So bear in mind that you only have 3.5 hours left of use for them today.
Yeah, you use the boot to fly up to 4 hours, and it recharges 2 hours every
Okay,
12
okay.
hours.
All right. So it's a half-hour flight. So just bear that in mind. All right. Caleb and Lucian heading up via Ruby. Gil, Caro, and Raccoon heading up via Gil's boots. Zephyr, you watch as your companions take to the skies and start heading up to board the airship at its stern. Once you're left alone, you're surrounded by just the wreckage of the earlier battle and the belongings that have not yet been claimed by the constructs. And Red approaches you, kind of slithering out of the caravan cautiously and looking around before approaching you.
Mm-hmm.
And once they look up and ensure that the others are well out of earshot, high up in the sky, Red turns to look at you with a raised eyebrow. And so, what's your plan for getting past all that? And he gestures to the pitched battle taking place at the walls.
Well, my initial thought process would be just simply go around them. I mean, unless you're gonna come along with me, then that would change things.
Depends. What are we stealing?
Oh my god!
That's Zephyr.
Oh
I
yeah,
knew I should have left him all alone.
yeah. Benefits of
He's
dog.
going for crown jewels.
Yeah. Well,
Going for another bank job?
Well, first we gotta get inside to see what they have.
Yeah, true.
Like I said, Zephyr's an asshole.
And what about the rest of our
He's
mates?
reconfirming it.
We just gonna leave everyone else here?
The rest of what?
He nods over his shoulder at the raptor pack that's kind of carefully patrolling the area.
I mean, I assume they could take care of themselves. I mean, I wasn't really I had no plan on protecting them to begin with.
Fair enough. All right, I'm in.
Well, if we're gonna both going in, then that makes things a little harder. I was simply going to just find a more unoccupied wall and walk up it, but unless you can climb walls as well, then we're going to need to find a better, more secret area.
Honestly, given that I was only born so long ago, I'm frankly not sure what I can do. Figure it's worth a shot.
Well, I guess we should start heading over. Uh-oh.
He gives you a quiet nod, and the two of you start slinking your way away from the carriage and toward the Capacitas walls. Now, Zephyr, I will say this is a very long way to go, and you're going on foot. Are you going to try and go fast, or are you going to try and go stealthy, or somewhere in the middle?
I would have gone fast if I didn't have Redwood. That's been so far now. I'm just like immediately, partially regret these. as good as. But what the no. So I'll go normal speed, but of course make sure no creatures are nearby.
Yeah, and you said you're trying to find like an unoccupied part of the wall. Go ahead and make me a perception check. Again, it's a good distance away, but
Mhm.
but you don't know how long the party's going to be gone anyway. For all you know, it could take them days searching the airship to find what they need.
Mhm. By then I'll be rich. Who knows? Okay, perception. Not bad.
Yes.
24.
Okay. And you accounted for your sunlight sensitivity?
I forgot that it's sunny. No, I did not.
Yeah, you're out of the Underdark now, so we need to actually factor that in.
Yeah. Well, I got a 26 after that, so 24.
Okay, so 24. Zephyr, you look carefully, and you notice that the areas nearest to the airship are by far the most crowded. The crowds of robots begin to thin away from it and eventually cease entirely on the edges of the coast. So you can either make your way to the coast of the open polar sea or make your way to the southern shoreline. Any preference on the matter, or?
So it sounds like water or water. Gross.
I will say, if it matters, the one that takes you to the open polar sea will be closer to the airship, whereas the one on the southern coast would be further away from it. So basically, it would take you longer, but you'd be further away from the actual scene of battle, if that matters to you.
Sure. I guess Zephyr will kind of get farther away from the combat because he doesn't want to do any of this.
All right, Zephyr, you and your son begin making your way away from the carriage, away from the airship, away from the battle, and start making your way towards the southern walls, which appear less battle hardened and, given the situation, likely less guarded. Stuff. You want stuff.
I mean, he lost an item, so he's gotta like repurpose, get an item back.
Yeah, I made an investment into this. I need to be reimbursed.
Yeah, well, he lost his book, so
Why? What happened?
I will. Zephyr is abandoning the carriage and heading to the southern walls to try and sneak into the city and rob the bank.
Well, rob whatever, maybe the royal people, whichever one.
Also, yeah, rob.
How did he? What book did he lose?
The bard.
The diary.
No, the bard book. No one ever told him that he got that. They still have it. So as far as he knows, Neon has it. So.
Yeah, you know what? That's a fair point. I will say, before we cut back to the others, I will say, as you and Red start making your way across the dunes, the thought has occurred to you that you would likely be rewarded handsomely and possibly outright just given magical items for helping Sundragon, right?
But the thought also occurred to me, I can, get more.
Yeah. No, I figured. I was just checking. All right. Gil, Caleb, Kato, Lucian, with Raccoon in tow. You all start making the flight upward to get to the base of the airship's stern.
So the plan was for Caleb to just start killing everybody of importance on this airship, right?
Yeah, basically scan the area, find anyone who seems important, assassinate them, move on to the next target. Lucian is intending to cause a distraction that will basically draw attention away from important areas so that, again, it's easier for you to find them. And Kero Caro is planning to outright kill Troppu, and Raccoon is planning to interrogate and likely kill Brogdu.
Hopefully,
Go
Caleb
for
doesn't
higher
find
level.
them first.
If it's a
Because
goblin,
you
leave
just,
leave it be.
if you say the words, go find and kill to Caleb, he's going to do that.
Yeah.
Fair. You guys start making your way up, and it gives you a bit of a better look at the airship itself. The airship is, as promised, huge. At a quick guesstimate, Gil, you would estimate this thing is 12 miles wide and easily over 30 miles long. If you were to try and just dead sprint from the end of the ship you're about to land on to the northern tip where the dragon head is, it would take you a day to get there, even at a dead sprint. This thing is huge. However, despite that, everything is surprisingly very drab and plain looking. It's not ornate like you would expect something this ostentatious to be. Everything just seems kind of dull and plain looking. You can see that in total, now that you're getting a closer look at it and paying more attention to it, it appears that in total about anywhere from 4 to 6 airships make up the collective build. Lucian, make me a perception check, as you said you were going to try and identify like areas of importance, but I will just go ahead and rattle off everything that the party definitely sees.
Can
You
Caleb
can see
help
two.
Lucian?
Sure, especially since you guys are sharing amounts. So, Lucian, roll perception with advantage.
And I would like to look for like engines and stuff. Something that makes
make me a perception.
go. In...
All right, make me a perception check.
All right, so the first roll was a 14, and then the second roll was a natural 20.
All right.
Hey, Caleb gave you a natural 20.
Yeah, which I will factor into the flavor.
Sure.
Gil, perception?
25.
All right. And Kato, what are you doing?
I guess she's also like looking around and stuff.
Okay. Gil, roll with advantage.
That's 14.
Okay. Kato, as Gil effectively kind of almost cradling you as you make your way up via his rocket boots, and below Lucian and Caleb are carried by the Pteranodon Ruby, you all start to just take in details of the airship, trying to find weak spots, useful bits, things you should focus on. And I'm going to continue just rattling off the things everyone sees, but I will start specifying who definitely sees what based on your investigations. So basically just listen out for whenever your name specifically is called, but everything else is just applying to everyone.
Caleb was also specifically looking out for areas that look like control points and stuff like that.
Okay.
Basically areas where it looks like somebody important would be.
All right, noted. You can see that each airship that is distinct from the main hull has a cable lift that connects it to the rest of the ship. And the whole ship is dotted with lights. And not like lanterns, I mean electrical lights, similar to the ones you saw in Edict.
Is it completely enclosed, or is it like an open-faced airship?
There are parts of it that are enclosed, but a lot of it is open. Like you can see like lifts and pathways that are open air, but then there are buildings and like cabins on it that are enclosed.
Okay.
Lucian and Keto, both of you spot that on the pathways that just kind of allow transport between each like cabin and building of the airship. You can see that while they don't have railing, which does strike you as a bit of a safety hazard, you do notice that they have little farms. You can see they appear to be growing what appears to be a type of melon, as well as various herbs and various small plants, likely the food source of the crew. The walkways themselves are a very basic flat metal, which means no traps or things that would make you fall, but nowhere to hide either if you get caught on them. Gil and Caleb, you can see that also lining the pathways aren't just these farms. You can also see what appear to be display cases with various just seemingly random items on display. You're able to see like a sword, a gauntlet, what appears to be a pistol. You can't get a good look at them from this high up, as again, you guys are approaching the airship and just trying to find a place to land without being seen. But you do see that there are these things on display. I don't think, I think that's everything. Yes, okay. And Caleb, you notice that while there's not anything that basically just has a sign that says headquarters, you do notice that 2 of the airships at the stern where you are look a lot more ornate and kind of fly over everything. So if anyone is going to be chilling there, that would certainly be a spot to be. It certainly looks ornate. You can see what appears to be a kind of gazebo in the center, which, again, if there's going to be a center command, that would certainly do the job. But you can also see a large-looking, almost silo at the bow of the ship, which is far away, but it's by far the biggest building you can see. So there's definitely got to be something in there. And Gil,
like,
looking out.
Does there seem to be like any like sneaking routes available on this airship?
With the natural 20, you don't see anything obvious. However, if you're ballsy, you do notice that each balloon has several ropes hanging off of them, as do the walkways, essentially acting almost as rigging for the airship. While the balloon, the ships themselves do have like buildings you can hide around and potentially inside, the only way you're going to be able to cross the pathways without being seen, as again, the only thing that disrupt the flat metal is display cases and farms, would be to use the rigging to climb under them, which would help you not be seen, but it took you a half hour to fly up here with rocket boots. Imagine what would happen if you fell.
That sounds like a lot of acrobatics rolls.
Well, it sounds like death. I don't think acrobatics save you at that point.
So there doesn't seem to be any way to like. I might have to make another roll, but are there patrols?
I was actually going to give that to you as well. Just give me just a moment. Gil, looking for engines, you notice that there doesn't appear to necessarily be, as again, you're not even necessarily familiar with the concept of an engine. However, if you're looking for just things that look useful, Gil, you do spot that there are 2 large yellow balloons that seem to act as the sort of central lift of all of this, although again there are like four other airships helping keep this thing aloft, but the 2 balloons are largest, and you can see that below them is a trio of massive rotating fans, and where that gazebo I mentioned is, as well as a few other vital locations, you can see that there's these massive pillars of fire that the fans are basically stoking to increase the heat draft that they put into the balloons. Everything here has a very Da Vinci look to it. Like basically, I'm sure most of you are familiar with those drawings of hot air balloons and stuff by Da Vinci. Basically, picture that on like an industrial scale.
Do the propellers look like the Da Vinci helicopter?
Yes, and I was actually going to mention that on the far starboard and far port, you can see massive propellers keeping the thing moving in a certain direction. You're able to spot that on either side of the dragon head on the bow, there are massive mechanical Da Vinci wings that stretch out to help keep the thing gliding. and at the very stern are more propellers and more wings. So basically, for your reference, Gil, since you're the one who asked, but it's your job to keep track of this, far back where you guys are, there's propellers and wings. In the center, there's 3 fans keeping 3 flames, keeping 2 balloons running. Propellers on the far left and right of the center, and at the very front of the ship are 2 wings. Those appear to be all the mechanisms that are keeping this thing running. While you can see some smaller balloons at the bow, they don't appear to be doing as much heavy lifting as the 2 central ones are. And Caleb, again, you got a natural 20, and I was actually going to give this anyway, so I'll throw you a bone. Caleb, knowing that you're going to have to sneak, you keep an eye out. And you notice that, for the most part, there are patrols, but a lot of them are those constructs you've seen. You see those robotic felines patrolling the walkways, the balloons are being watched over by the flying dragon constructs, and all of the buildings have one of those snake constructs in front of them. So pathways guarded by the robotic tigers, the balloons guarded by robotic dragons, and the actual cabins guarded by robotic snakes. And while you don't see any, you do recall that whenever this airship attempted to capture you and your team, that the party was encountered several goblins and Tengu that helped tie your prison cell to the airship. So it's quite possible that those Tengu and goblins are still here and just not on patrol. Given how high up you are, it wouldn't necessarily be surprising if they only have robots doing this.
So does it seem like he could get around those?
The ones guarding the doors, you're going to have to get a little creative. The ones on the balloons don't seem like there'll be much trouble unless you get spotted by something else. Anyone going out after the balloons is going to mostly have to deal with them. The ones that worry you the most are the robotic tigers, which, again, patrol the walkways that connect each blimp together. However, you can see that the lifts themselves don't appear to be outright guarded. So, again, you could chance climbing, or just basically try and dart between the pathways and like monitor the patrols to make sure that you don't meet one halfway. So it basically depends on how much time you're willing to spend, but there does seem to be a pattern. If you take the time to sit somewhere where you can see and observe, you could try to figure out a pattern to the patrols and just dart across the pathways before you get seen.
Okay, so are we getting close to where we're going to be like landing on it?
Yeah, and I was actually going to ask, Gil, you're faster than Ruby, and Ruby's following you, so you're going to determine where the party lands. Where you are, you guys are currently hovering between the 2 massive wings and propellers at the back, and Lucian, you just watch almost in awe as this massive propeller, where one clean swipe of it could swat all of you out of the air like insects, just rotates, and the massive wings catch the draft that these things are creating, and the canvas cloth is stretched to keep the back of the airship upward. It seems like this whole ship is just straining to not fall to the ground.
Give it a little hand, shall we?
Gil, you see that on either side of you are 2 of the airship that, again, they have the slightly more ornate look. Like, they don't appear to be functional in any way, so they appear to be purely cosmetic, or serving some kind of invisible function. You can attempt to land on those, or you can head directly forward where you can see the curve of the airship's central mass, and you can try and land there. And it appears to be just a general storage area. So there would be like crates and stuff that the party could hide behind and get their bearings.
Yeah, I want to aim for that where we can try to become non-suspicious, I guess I should say, where we can stay unseen.
Okay.
Just don't be suspicious. Don't
be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. All right, Gil, make me a stealth. make me a stealth check and roll one for Ruby as well.
I don't know her stats. Let me see. Okay, for mine, it's a 25. Is a 14.
That is shit.
They probably don't have a high modifier.
She's only got a +2 to her dex, so.
That's
Okay.
blind pretty.
Gil?
Well, we're not sneaking
You
onto
co-
this. We're going to begin a fight right from the start.
Gil, you fly onto the ship and gesture for Ruby to follow. Ruby's landing is a little clumsy, as again, they're carrying a lot of weight, but they gently deposit Caleb on the very tip of the edge and kind of roll Lucian off their back and just kind of like sit there and almost like kind of pant for a bit as they had to fly straight upwards and between all that updraft. So Ruby looks exhausted. Gil, as you put down Caro and Raccoon, you kind of dart to hide behind one of the crates, and you look over and see one of the tiger bots. With now that you're looking at it closer, you can see Kaloom's logo proudly displayed on its skull. You watch as it kind of patrols around, kind of
And Caleb,
searches.
Caleb's not on Ruby anymore, right?
Yes.
Can I make my own stealth check?
Yeah, sure. Lucian, do you want to do the same?
Yeah.
All right, roll stealth.
All she did for y'all.
Just like
A 14 in a final
She
encounter,
tried.
that ain't going to be good. That ain't going to be good enough. I already know it. I said,
Almost.
sound is a part of this, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I have advantage.
Yeah, because they could hear you as well. So yeah.
I got a 19.
All right, the first roll would have been a 28. The second roll is, I got 23.
All right. Caleb, the moment you're put down, and Lucian, the moment you're rolled off, the two of you scramble to join Gil hiding behind the crate and kind of watch Ruby apprehensively as the Pteranodon just kind of looks around a bit confused. Gil, as you carefully watch the tiger automaton, it looks around. Ruby is shielded from its immediate view by the crates, and given that it doesn't seem like they were expecting an aerial invasion, it kind of rattles its head a little bit before moving on.
Wow, those robots have no passive.
Well, you overestimated them.
All right. I'm going to take down the balloons and try to get this out of the air.
Okay, instead of going for the balloons, go for the propeller fans underneath it.
Same thing is dangerous.
Yes, but if you use your bombs on those, it will take care of the fans, which will have the balloons collapse.
All right.
I'm going to try to find some ways to see where the robots are going, and then I'm going to find some people to kill.
And
Caleb, before you go,
Yes?
I am going to cast Bless on Caleb, Kara, and Gil.
What does that do?
As a D, it's basically a higher level guidance. It's an extra D4 to your saving throws and attack rolls.
Okay.
Okay.
It lasts for 1 minute, so hopefully we'll be in combat. So.
I thought that was last
All
one.
right. That's
I can
everyone.
do. Leave me alone.
I thought that. I mean, I generally thought the spell lasted longer to begin with.
Yeah. Well,
All right. So, what does everyone want to do?
I
I
already said
will
what
take
Caleb's
out.
gonna do. He's gonna find somewhere to watch the robots.
Yeah, I'm going to
All right.
take out my artisan's cookbook, and I am going to go to the stern of the ship, and I'm going to start trying to take out the propeller.
All right. Caleb, you start making your way to just get to a good
And he's
position to
gonna do
monitor
it
the patrols.
stealthily.
Of course, I'm going to have everyone roll stealth in a moment. Lucian, you start making your way westward, which would be towards the ship's bow. Gil, what are you doing?
I saw all of those display cases and everything, right?
Yeah, everyone could see that. They're not like hidden or anything.
So I want to go through the display cases and pocket everything that I think could be useful or valuable before we destroy the ship.
So
Okay. And Keto, what will you be doing?
We're gonna start going to the more inner parts of the ship. Like find a door or something.
All right. So towards the center?
Yeah.
Okay, so Lucian, Gil, and Carol will head deeper into the ship. Caleb, you will be just finding a place to watch the patrols. Raccoon is going to go with the group heading deeper in. Everyone, please roll me stealth checks.
Also, just as a note, before Caleb leaves, he pulls up the hood of his cloak.
All right.
Get that water breathing.
No, just his regular cloak. He doesn't have that on.
Oh.
Yeah, it's just like a flavor thing. All right.
He doesn't
Caleb?
wear that until he needs it.
As the rest of the group starts sneaking out of the cargo area and deeper into the ship, you pull up your hood and start slinking off to find a place relatively high up that you can just observe what the robots are doing. So yeah, I'll take it one at a time. So, Caleb, stealth.
And I'm still rolling it. Okay, that's a 20. All right, first roll was a 25. The second roll was a 15.
Okay. Lucian, stealth.
19.
Gil, stealth.
Natural 20, so 28.
Keto, stealth.
19.
And Raccoon. 14 from Raccoon. Okay.
And before we head out, I want to look at Ruby and just tell her to wait in this area, but stay safe.
Maybe she should fly away because once I take out the propeller, this thing is going to like crash.
Good point. Go back to the cart.
Ruby gives a kind of woggle of the head, and as you all start sneaking away, Gil, you can see Ruby kind of curiously looking around the area, and once you're at the edge of the cargo hold, Ruby opens their wings and goes to dive off of the ship, but you all hear a and this harpoon pierces Ruby in the chest.
Rip.
And you all watch as one of the mechanical dragons that had been hanging under the platform drags itself with a scraping of metal onto the top and pulls Ruby up like a fishing line and slams the pteranodon in front of it and starts to just like investigate and scan it curiously.
Oh my god.
Is she still alive?
Caleb is already out of here.
No, yeah, and I will say the robot doesn't seem to react to the rest of you at all. And Gil, at a glance, you don't even see Ruby struggling.
Fun.
Instant kill.
Ruby
I'm
rolled well
trying-
enough to evade the notice of most of them, but not all of them.
I'm trying so hard to not just break cover. Oh my goodness.
Well, if
He
Gil
is-
does that, it doesn't seem like anybody else will be caught up in it because I think Lucian and Caleb and Carol have already left.
Gil, with one last distraught look, you watch as the machine grabs Ruby in its sword-like beak and takes to the air and starts flying to one of the nearby balloons that are hovering towards the stern.
Midnight snack, I see.
Did
Can I
Caleb
point
see
that out?
that this thing flying away?
Yes, Caleb, as you're trying to find a good place, you didn't see what happened. All you heard was the harpoon being fired, and you just see one of the mechanical dragons carrying a highly bleeding and unmoving Ruby up towards the airship to the ship's left, up towards one of the stern side balloons.
Is there any way to get up to those?
You see that each balloon does have a cable lift that allows you to hoist yourself up, but from what you can see, they're a little on the slow side.
Alright. He'll observe the patterns first and then make a decision from there, because he might learn something if he sees like any of them going to a particular place a lot too.
Okay. Noted. All right. We'll circle through everyone a bit at a time as the investigation of the airship begins. First up, Caleb. Make me a perception check to try and observe patrols.
$18.
Okay. You come out the left side of the cargo hold as the rest of the group was heading right. And you see that this cargo platform itself is pretty big, and you're careful to
I
stick.
didn't have to climb anything?
Well, I'm about to. Give me a minute. You're careful to dart and stay among the shadows. And you notice that while there is a lot of crates and barrels, you also notice just a kind of lot of loose goods. You can see what appears to be a slightly dented golden chalice, what appears to be several things of alcohol. A lot of it appears to be just random knickknacks, essentially. And given that a lot of them are dented and covered with blood, you start to form a theory in your head, and that theory is confirmed as you see another one of those dragon bots flying over. So you kind of duck under some barrels that are stacked on top of each other, allowing you a bit of a crevice to wiggle into. And you watch as the dragon flies low over the cargo area and simply drops what appears to be several golden candelabras down into the cargo hold and then flies back away. And you realize that these things are literally just flying into Sundragon, taking what they can, and then flying back to the airship to drop it off here.
Bro, that's my stuff. What are you doing?
Not anymore. And you have no way to get up here.
I mean, yeah, but that just means more likely that he's gonna steal from Sundragon.
Yeah, it still was already been stolen.
The cargo area itself is large, and you have to get across it in order to find anywhere that's like elevated enough for you to get a look at the machine's patrol routes. But eventually you are able to find a place. Specifically, you find that it's a bit of a distance, but you manage to make your way at about late afternoon, sneaking and sliding your way across the airship from the cargo bay to what appears to be one of the engines. One of the large fans that are pumping flaming air into one of the large yellow balloons.
Who is this?
You.
You.
Okay.
And
Set it up.
you grabbing onto one of the ropes that are tying the balloon to the base of the fan, climb your way up, and as soon as you make it up
I don't
top,
need
you
to make
kind
an
of
acrobatic.
press yourself. Well, just give me a minute. I'll tell you when you need to make a roll. And you press yourself against the side of the balloon, hoping that you'll essentially camouflage yourself against it, even if the camo on your cloak is not the right pattern for it. And you watch as dragon bots continue to just patrol the area, scanning. But whether your skill at hiding or a glitch in their programming or what have you, they do not appear to see you. As you take in your surroundings, you do start to notice patrol patterns. As mentioned, the dragons appear to be almost exclusively patrolling the balloons, the engines, and the area around basically just the sort of outer perimeter of the ship. So you can tell that the dragons are only going to be a problem if you're flying around the airship, as poor Ruby had been, or if you're caught fiddling with the engines or the balloon. So they likely will not be a problem for your objectives. The tigers appear to be just patrolling the ground level. You can see them monitoring the paths, monitoring the cargo, monitoring anywhere that basically is just easily reachable on foot. They definitely could be a problem for you, especially if you need to traverse parts of the ship. But you take a long while to just observe their patterns, which, for the sake of brevity, I won't go over all the nitty-gritty of that, but I will say you start to take their patterns in. And don't worry, at the end, I will mention if you notice them flocking anywhere in particular. And finally, the serpents, you notice, are exclusively guarding specific areas, and they do not move from those spots. You see one guarding the leftmost blimp, one guarding the right, one guarding each of the engines, and one guarding the area at the bow where the dragon figurehead is. So they're by far the least in number, but you know them to be the most individually powerful, not to mention their hypnosis ability, potentially taking a party member out of the fight instantly. You're confident you can probably avoid them, but if you get caught, it's going to be a problem.
So does
The serpents...
would Caleb feel like he knows enough to be able to work his way around all of them?
Yeah, you're confident that, again, you're confident the only one that's going to be an issue for you is the tigers, and you take a long time monitoring their patrol specifically, so that you can kind of get an idea of how long you need to wait before taking any of the walkways. They are robots, so their patterns are very predictable. The only thing that does concern you is that every area of seeming, or at least obvious importance, is guarded by one of the serpents, which do not move, do not patrol, and do not slacken their duties. So you're going to have to either distract them or just hope you can sneak past them via an alternate route.
All right. Are there any areas where the patrolling ones seem to congregate at any point?
You notice that they tend to congregate in the area you are, and and at your elevated position, you can see another matching secondary engine or auxiliary engine on the opposite side in the direction the group had gone. They seem to congregate in those areas, as, again, the engines are vitally important. And every so often, you note that one of the dragons will fly over them, and they'll kind of make weird chirps at each other. You're hanging literally over the engine, and there's this tense moment where a whole pack of the tigers starts grouping up below you, and one of the dragons swoops by you and starts just circling over the tigers, and they start making like mechanical squeals and chirps at each other before the dragon flies up to the leftmost blimp, and the tigers all disperse and go back to their patrols.
Are there any of the serpents around the blimps you saw the dragon take Ruby?
There are dragons kind of orbiting it, but not so closely that you think they would see you if you were on it. It seems more like they're meant to prevent creatures like Ruby from flying into it directly. The dragons are basically focused on watching the skies, which Ruby was just unfortunate enough to be part of.
Mhm. Does it look like he could sneak onto those without being seen by those dragons?
As mentioned, you're pretty confident you can avoid the dragons. After all, it is not your job to dick with the balloons. What you're mainly worried about is the tiger patrols, which again you've memorized, so you're a little less concerned about them. The only thing you can't really do anything about
is like the blimp that the one took Ruby to.
No, yeah, I was about to get to that. The only thing that concerns you is that one of the serpents is guarding that one.
Okay, so how would he have to approach it?
From your current position, you would need to make your way away from the engine, get to the bay where the lift is, take the lift up there, or chance climbing it by rope. And then once you're up there, you would need to find a way to either sneak past, destroy, or otherwise distract the serpent, and then you could get into the central building that seems to comprise most of that particular ship.
Okay, so if he takes the lift, does he see any way to go from the lift that would go around the serpent? Or any way, if he climbed, that could go around the serpent?
As mentioned, you can see that there are several ropes hanging off of the balloon of the ship that you think you could feasibly make the jump from the lift to the ropes and then climb up them, and they certainly wouldn't expect it, but if you scuff it, that's going to hurt more than a lot.
Well, here's Caleb's conundrum. Because of that paralysis thing, fighting the serpent would be instant death. Falling off the ropes would be instant death. So, both bad endings are the same.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that ropes mean he could possibly succeed. The serpent means he will not succeed.
All right.
Because the serpent will... It basically would just be a matter of time until the serpent paralyzes him. Because doesn't he have to make the roll every single time?
No. I think it's...
No, you only have to roll it on seeing it for the first time, at which point, if you manage to evade it...
count?
Actually, yes, because you saw it in the last 24 hours and you managed to shake it off. You are now immune to that hypnosis for the next 24 hours.
Okay.
If you wish to fight it, you can also sneak past it.
How much did it take to kill the one we fought?
You shot at it once. Gil took several just full rage-filled swings at it. Caro shot it a few times. Zephyr didn't do anything. Lucian cast Inflict Wounds. So it took a cast of Inflict Wounds from Lucian, I think 3 rounds of attacks from Gil in his rage, a shot from you, and I think like 4 shots from Caro.
Yeah.
Okay, those numbers do not add up well.
Yeah.
Did that one seem like it was a particularly tough one? Did these seem like they might be particularly weaker than that one?
You do not believe so.
Okay, so fighting the serpent is just not an option. He would not be able to win that fight.
Probably not.
If you like, I can cut to the others to give you time to think and then come back to you on what you want to do.
What is holding those airships to this ship?
You see several ropes are tying them together, as well as the cables that make up the lift system.
Okay, so there's no way to easily separate them from the rest of the airship, is what I'm gathering.
Yeah, basically you would either need one of Gil's axes to cut through metal, or just, I guess you could, in theory, shoot at it like 7 times with your laser rifle or something. You would need something that can cut through the metal, primarily. The ropes themselves wouldn't be too difficult to sever, it's just that they're, you would have to basically keep dodging the patrols as you did so.
Once you shoot that laser rifle, you're most likely going to be caught.
So, are they just completely immobile, or does it look like if they heard a sound, they would go chasing after it?
Well, you know they're capable of movement, but you don't see them moving right now.
So he has no way of knowing if they can be distracted. He knows he cannot win the fight. The only thing he knows that could guarantee him getting around them is the way that could lead to instant death.
Hmm.
That's all you can give me.
I mean, yeah, it's a boss, and it's gonna be hard. I don't know what you want from me.
Alright, just forget about those. Because at least here, there seems to be, like, buildings, so there's, like, rooftops he can use. Over there, it's pretty much funneled straight into me that he can't beat. I feel like this was a terrible plan. Because if these enemies take the entire party to fight.
Well, yeah, you're blind, you have to fight them.
You have to fight. It's either fight those or risk instant death.
Or distract them.
Which does not sound like a very fair trade.
You could try to like do a test drive of distracting them, see if they can be distracted.
Alright. He's gonna try that.
Okay. We'll come back.
He'll sneak his way to the lift. It's judging by how long this has taken, I'm probably not gonna get another turn this game.
You say that, but I'm over here doing an hour-long walk or more.
I'm just joking. I'm sure I'll get at least one more shot.
I mean, yeah, the party split up, so it's gonna happen. Not really much we can do about that. That said,
yeah, Caleb is starting to second guess this plan, mainly because there's just not, this isn't a great situation for an assassin because there's no openings. They literally perfectly guarded themselves. It's almost as if someone went out of their way to make sure an assassin couldn't do what they were trying to do.
Yeah.
all right. Gil, as you, Lucian, Kero, and Raccoon start making your way, heading starboard rather than port. I believe starboard is right side, right? I want to use the proper ship terminology. Yeah. As you guys,
map here.
As you guys start making your way starboard, Gil, you're forced, if you want to go with your plan of head for the display cases, you're going to have to break off from the others, as Kero wants to head deeper into the center of the airship, and Lucian wants to head for the main engine, which is exactly in the middle. So you will be on your own for this.
You mean Zephyr's Greed?
I mean, two party members can be suicidally greedy at the same time.
Oh, yeah, that's fair.
He said I was suicidal. He's not gonna risk his life.
Zephyr is stealthy enough to pull off this kind of shit.
I'm just thinking.
Yeah, where's he?
I want to go for the display cases for now. But
Yeah, I
can
figured.
find
I was
out
just
because he knows where Lucian is planning to go. So once he's done, he's going to catch up with her.
okay. So, Gil, you make your way starboard. Similar to Caleb, again, this is all taking place over a very long period of time, so this is not like a quick jaunt. You manage to find yourself, the first sort of noteworthy landmark you find is you make it to the starboard side, and you find that you're in a kind of, you could almost think of it as kind of a square, or like a town square. You see several small buildings corralled around what appears to be one of the auxiliary engines, which blows flaming hot air up into the balloons above. And you can feel just being in this area as you kind of stick to the alleyways and avoid the patrolling tigers. You can feel your hair beginning to get blown a bit and your skin beginning to almost, not sizzle obviously, but like it's very, very hot up here.
Okay.
As assuming you don't want to link.
I'm just seeing the tigers, right?
Yeah, you do see the dragons kind of vulture circling around the balloons above you, but the tigers are mostly what you're seeing here.
Okay.
You snake your way through the alleyways past the auxiliary engine area, and you find yourself in the cover of another small kind of cluster of buildings for the airship. This one actually being guarded by a serpent, which you kind of note, but take care to avoid. Snaking your way between alleys, kind of climbing your way over rooftops to avoid the serpent, you find yourself on one of the pathways that actually you notice walk over the central engine. So now you're just walking directly over this swirling fan of flaming death, and it's precarious to put it mildly. But after a bit of looking, you find what appears to be the first display case you find appears to contain a kind of odd-looking backpack.
Ooh. Okay. Does the display case, is it locked?
You see that its base is metal, and then it's completely encased in glass that displays the object itself. You actually don't see any visible way to get this thing open.
Besides the obvious.
Yeah, besides the obvious.
Let me see. I would like to take out one of my
One of your what?
It's still thinking.
How big is this case?
The case is about the glass part specifically.
Yes.
It's about 3 foot tall and about 1 foot across.
Okay,
Maybe 2 feet.
I want to take my bedroll, put the bedroll over the glass, and use that to reduce sound in the breaking glass.
Muffle sound.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then once I have the bedroll over it, I'm going to break in the glass.
All right, make me a stealth check.
Am I with you?
No.
Okay.
No, you'll have to
might get the
separate.
distraction he needs.
Yeah. I mean, he's already done it, so
27.
I don't mind saying it. I thought about, man, what if that thing had an alarm?
We're going to find out.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, you already did it, so.
All right. So, Gil, what'd you roll for stealth?
27.
All right, now make me a strength check.
$18.
All right. And just for flavor, how do you plan to go about breaking it in and of itself? Just like flavorly, what are you doing?
So once he has it on, like the sleeping bag over it, he's going to take his elbow and he's just going to bring it down on top, shattering the thing.
Okay.
Ow. This sounds painful.
Yeah, that does kind of sound like that would hurt.
His arms are fucked up anyway. Who cares?
Exactly. He can't feel it anyway.
Yeah, that is true. He can't feel his arms anymore, so he might as well.
I thought he could
Gil?
only not feel his hands.
No, it's his arms. Gil, as you make an attempt to muffle the sound, you bring your elbow up and manage to shatter the glass, although it gives you a lot more resistance than you expected, but you do still manage to break through it with some effort. And the bedroll, while it doesn't obviously silence it, it does manage to muffle it enough, and you quickly pull your bedroll up and kind of rifle through the broken glass before grabbing the backpack and running to hide before potentially any patrols come to investigate.
And they're gonna put the backpack into my bag and hold it. Well,
Okay.
Wait. Can I? What kind of backpack is this? Can I tell? Like, can I put my hand in and see what happens?
So are you going to open it?
Yes.
You're gonna put your
That
head
sounds
in
like a really bad idea.
it. Put your
I think
head
he
in
said
it.
his hand.
Oh, this
Yeah, hand.
well, put your head in it.
Gil, as you hide around the corner of a nearby building, you open the backpack and kind of look it over curiously. You notice it's a dark green material. It doesn't feel like it doesn't feel like a material you're familiar with. And as you curiously open it and stick your hand inside, there appears to be something kind of rubbery within. And as you kind of open it and get a better look, you see balloons. Balloons.
I will then put the bag into my bag of holding.
Okay. As you stuff the backpack into the bag, there's kind of a nervous pause as you wait to see if you're about to black hole yourself. But nothing happens.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
That was my main concern. I was
Yeah,
like,
that's what I was thinking whenever he was gonna put it in his bag of holding.
I was like,
I totally forgot about.
no.
Yeah, I totally forgot about the other bag of holding.
Imagine if
entire
all
issue.
after everything Gil's run through, the way he goes out is he creates a black hole right on his back, right on his belt, and just
Yeah,
sucks
but-
the whole ship in and ends all life on the planet.
Airship
Well,
just
no, it
fine.
doesn't. It doesn't kill the ship. I mean, it's a temporary, like very small temporary black hole.
Okay,
Yeah.
because like
All
it is
right.
a full-size black
gonna
hole. That
keep
thing could
moving on to
literally
other-
basically just cause like an equivalent to a nuclear winter before destroying everything. Real black
All
holes
right.
are
I'm
not
gonna
to
go
be
on
fucked
the
with.
next display case.
Okay. Lucian, Kato, with Raccoon in tow. The three of you, as Gil branches off once you guys reach the edge of the cargo bay to start making his way onto just the walkways that contain these vapid displays of wealth.
Mm.
The three of you find a path leading off of the central, or rather off the cargo bay, and start making the walk. Again, these walks are lengthy, and there's little in the way of cover. The only respite you get is these small little, again, the occasional display case or farm that, Caro, you occasionally have to crouch into foliage, or Lucian, you have to hide behind display cases as whirring and hissing tiger automatons patrol up and down the pathways. It's slow going, and you have to be very careful, but as Caleb is concluding his observations, Gil is pocketing his pack. The three of you estimate that you've made it to the center of the ship. You can see the massive turning propellers on either side of you, and directly in front of you is another one. Is one of those little gazebo areas that appears to just be kind of like essentially equivalent to a rest stop. The central engine whirs below you, similar to Gil. All of Lucian, your hair is being blown around, and Caro, you can immediately feel the heat. As in the center of this gazebo is essentially a huge barrel, and from that barrel is emerging a massive flame. and there's a whole cut in the roof of the gazebo where the smoke and fire travels up through and into one of the balloons above. And Kero, since you just wanted to get to the center, it's not necessarily the engine itself you're looking for. You can see to the left and right are the propellers I had mentioned with kind of squares of buildings in front of them. And if you continue towards the bow, you can see the dragon figurehead, which is surrounded on all sides by machinery. You can see, again, those mechanical wings I mentioned. This close, you're actually able to see there's another set of propellers, as well as a pair of smaller ballooned airships, hoisting all of that stuff a bit above the rest of the mechanism and helping keep this whole thing aloft.
Okay, do I estimate that, like, if I threw my bombs at it, that it would probably put me in danger?
Well, that's the thing.
Yeah,
Now that you're seeing it close up, you're actually not even sure if your bombs would do anything. This fan is huge. The balloon even huger.
Interesting question. What about the engine?
Well, again, you're at the engine. What this effectively is just a massive oil drum of sorts that's just spewing fire into the balloons above. You don't see mechanisms, at least not here.
Okay, what about the balloons? What if I pop the balloons? Would that put me in any danger?
Almost certainly. The blast alone would likely deafen everyone on the ship. And I'll say, given that you're a scientist and a amateur alchemist, I'll give you a freebie and say, if you blow up those balloons, not only is the ship going down, it's going down in flames.
Yeah, I'm second guessing this.
Basically,
well.
those balloons pop, this whole thing's gonna Hindenburg.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, maybe we need a plan B.
Which we didn't come up with.
Stroke my chin. Yeah, I kind of stroke my chin in thought.
Caro, as Lucian contemplates a backup plan, do you wish to stay with Lucian or head somewhere else?
I'll stay with them for now.
Okay. Lucian, you can see Caro and Raccoon.
Being a scientist, hypothetically, could I assume that there's a way to turn it off?
Make an intelligence check.
Okay, that I can do. I'm going to guidance myself. See, intelligence. Okay, I'm decent at that. Get a +4. Let's see. That is not bad. Not bad. That's 19.
Okay. You estimate there probably is a way to turn it off, but I will say you also doubt it's going to be as simple as flicking a switch. If Troppu himself or Brogdu isn't overseeing what does that, it's likely that whatever allows these things to turn off is heavily guarded. So you estimate it's possible, but it's going to be difficult. But I will say the thought does also occur to you. You've heard in the scientific community that there is interest in the idea of a self-sustaining engine. And looking around at how complex all of this machinery is, while it's no edict, it's certainly intricate. The thought does occur to you that it's certainly possible for this to be a completely self-sustaining airship designed to never stop. But again, that's only a possibility.
Okay.
You don't have anything to support that, just it's possible.
Right, okay. I'm gonna turn. Okay, I do have another plan, but it's really bad.
Kato?
Would you like to hear it, Kero?
Yes.
Well, I really don't think it's a good idea to, mess with this. As it would probably, well, when I say probably, it would kill all of us. I'm thinking maybe if we take out the creatures and the guns, maybe we can figure out who's firing all of this stuff. Like, just like take out the bad people, if you know what I mean.
Yes, it seems
It's not
a
like
good idea.
it's not the plan. Like I've said many times, I'm not a tactician. But I really don't think it's a good idea to yeah, I don't think it's a good idea. Where should we start? Any suggestions?
I say we look around first.
Sorry. Okay. I'll help Carol look around, and I'm gonna try to see if I can maybe figure out if we can take out the people running the ship. Is it people or is it machines running the ship?
Yep.
Hello?
That's dead.
Matthew?
Matthew, no!
You haven't seen any people yet.
Okay, so just the machines thus far. Have I seen them mess with the machines? Like the little dragon at the stern?
Make a perception check.
Ooh, not bad. 19.
You haven't seen them stop and operate anything, but you also haven't seen much in the way of exposed machinery. Everything you've seen is either just the balloons or buildings that are guarded by those serpents that you occasionally see the machines go in and out of, but you don't see what happens in them.
I'll turn to Kero. Could I assume that those buildings are probably where they're manning the machine?
Okay, well, I will say, because people ask me this question a lot in my DMing, you can assume whatever you want. It's just a matter of if you're right or not.
Okay, that's
so. You are capable of assuming that, yes.
I'll look. Okay, I will.
It's like the asking.
Caro, and I will say to Caro.
Like asking, can I go to the bathroom? I mean, you can, but.
Yeah, physically.
I have some theories, but I think that maybe there's like maybe some mechanisms in these buildings, and I'll kind of point them out to Caro. The only way they can be really sure is checking it out, like you said.
Yes, let us go then.
I will follow Caro's lead.
All right.
So their plan is kill all the bad things.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you have the slightest idea how little that
narrows it down?
But you know what? Perfect distraction, right?
Listen, I don't want to kill everyone.
Oh, Caro's just focusing on recon.
Alright, and speaking of, Caro, before you start making your way that way, any particularities of what you want to do?
Obviously she's gonna try to stick to stealth as much as she can.
Okay. And, so you want to head for one of those buildings out of curiosity. Do you want to head towards the right or towards the left? And there are also some buildings at the bow.
Is there anyone that's not as guarded right now?
Not that you can see. They all appear relatively equally guarded.
I'll look to Caro. You're Cole.
Let's go to the right then.
Alright. Keto, Lucian, with Raccoon in tow, you start making your way to the starboard of the ship. Gil, as you are getting ready to check out what's in the next display case, you can see Lucian, Keto, and Raccoon kind of stealthily making their way down the walkway towards you. Caleb, at this point, you're about finishing up your observation and just are essentially at that stage you were in of like coming to a conclusion about what you want to do next, and are about to start sidling your way back down to the auxiliary engine and make your way out before a patrol comes by. And Zephyr, you and Red have just done a lot of walking across sand. It's a desert, and you're avoiding the interesting areas, but not a lot happens.
More fucking sand.
Yeah.
I mean, at least
Sand and sand and sand and sand.
At least we're more in Zephyr's habitat. You know?
But something happens that, despite most of you being in different locations, catches all of your attention. But by this point, it's kind of late afternoon, and the sun is about to set. The battle at the walls of Capacitas has been raging all day, and from the sounds of it, will likely be raging well into the night. All of you hear a bone-chilling roar, not from the ship, from the city.
Fun.
You see a glint against the setting sun. And Kayla, from an elevated position, you're the first to be able to make it out. A massive shape against the horizon that's flying towards the ship at speed. Gil, Lucy, and Kero, the three of you and Raccoon actually duck as, with incredible speed, the shape manages to reach the ship, and with a roar leaves a trail of fire in its wake as a massive golden dragon flies over the ship, doing a run and just trying to destroy everything in its path.
Aren't golden dragons like kaiju levels big?
Yeah.
Are they?
I'm gonna say to Kero, I don't
go off of D&D. This is not D&D setting. This is.
Well, I mean,
I don't know about you, but I'm gonna get the fuck off of this shit.
Caleb just says to himself, I think it is time to abort.
Arrow's going to double down.
As the golden... All right, Kara, you're going to duck and cover?
Yep.
I'm gonna look for a way out.
Caleb is going to try to quickly get off of this very flammable balloon.
Yeah, same.
that he was climbing up on.
Caleb, you start climbing down. Lucy and you just start looking for a way down. Caro, you duck and cover. Gil and Zephyr, from a distance, you both watch in various degrees of interest as the dragon completes its first run and starts turning. And you can see already the fleet of dragon constructs that Kalum has built are engaging the thing in aerial combat. And while they're individually very weak compared to this massive, powerful beast, as Kero, you're the expert. You know what a gold dragon is and what it's capable of.
Yeah.
The constructs are mere insects to the thing as it crunches them between its jaws, shatters them with shockwaves from its beating wings, and claws and breathes fire to get them out of the air. But as it's circling around to take another shot at the ship, all of you hear an echoed, mechanically enhanced voice begin to pipe up that echoes all over the ship in tandem. Took them long enough. All right, boys, let's get what we came for. All hands, mechanical or otherwise, to battle stations. Knock that thing out of the sky.
After the dragon.
Keto, you watch as the building to your right begins to shift. Gil, you see that what you had thought was a building was actually a massive ballista that turns to start leveling its aim at the gold dragon, which seems completely unaware or unconcerned with the threat. And the dragon-mounted cannon starts to charge up another strike. And you hear the voice again. Wait for it. Wait for it.
Question.
What's up?
As soon as I see the ballista start aiming for the dragon, Gil is going to instantly break cover, use his rocket boots, take out his ionic axe, and cut through the cord so it can't fire.
No, bear in mind, these things are far away from you.
He's going as fast as he can to get.
You said he's standing on it.
Yeah, I was.
No,
like.
Like,
next to what you said.
Well, yeah, but you went to the walkway to get to the display cases, and again, the ship is huge.
But you said a building Gil was standing on actually turned out to be a ballista.
Well, what he was standing on earlier, the thing that the snake was in front of that he had to stand on to get around it, and then went to the walkway where the display cases are.
Okay, you didn't. Okay, I see the confusion now. You didn't specify earlier.
Keto?
How far away is the dragon? How far up in the sky?
How far up in the sky?
Yeah.
Counting the distance the airship is off the ground, or just from you?
From me.
From you, if it does another sweep close to you, it seems like it'd be about 60 feet in the air.
I'm gonna shoot at it.
Alright.
Well,
Okay.
that was unexpected.
That was unexpected. I'm gonna get off the ship.
And I'm going for the
How so?
ballista.
I have no idea. I'm gonna find a way. Actually, you know what? I think I might have a spell for this.
You have Featherfall.
I do. I'm just gonna bail. I'm out. I jump out. Yep.
Okay. Keto, as you break out of your cover and start leveling your crossbow at the dragon, Lucian just dives off the side and starts falling into the desert.
Okay,
But she has
bye.
Featherfall, right?
Yeah.
We don't have time to unpack all of that.
Bye.
Keto, leveling your crossbow, roll to hit.
Okay.
Get off the boat, get off the boat, get off the boat.
Did you
What'd
get
you roll,
that,
sir?
Matthew?
Yeah, I couldn't hear it. What were you saying, Keto?
23.
That is a hit,
Did you
actually.
just turn them up, Matthew?
No, it's because Amanda was talking.
Sorry.
They succeed the save against your poison, but you do hit. Roll for damage.
7.
Keto, leveling your crossbow, you fire, and as the dragon swings around for another fiery sweep of the ship, you manage to hit at a spot over its chest. But it's so big and powerful that while you definitely hit, and you don't see anything that indicates that it didn't take damage from that, it just seems like it doesn't care.
Damn. What spells do I have? Speak with animals doesn't work on them. Damn it. Ooh. Well then.
Was Carol trying to get its attention?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought about that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to try shooting at it again, or just try spell?
I guess I could try Hail of Thorns.
You want to try that?
Sure.
All right. Roll to hit, and it's a dex save for Hail of Thorns.
Yes.
All right. It succeeds.
That's another 23.
That is a hit. Roll for damage. It succeeds the save, but I think it should still take half, right?
Hail of Thorns. Yeah,
Well, yeah, if
half.
it makes you roll a hit, I feel like it should at least do half.
Well, yeah, but it depends on the spell, so I figured I'd check.
And next time you hit a creature, which is half, and then they make a dex save, and they take half damage.
Yeah,
from
it's
roll.
half as much, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so it'll take half from the Hail of Thorns, and of course, the full damage of your crossbow. Oh, and I'll see if the poison applies as well.
On addition
does.
to the attack damage.
Mhm.
I thought it was like a spell where you had to roll to hit, and then they made a save against it for some reason.
No, yeah, it basically just enhances a ranged attack, basically. But yeah, so go ahead, Carol. So you hit. It does not take the poison, but it will take half the Hail of Thorns and the usual.
So that's 19 and 2d4 for the ground poison.
No, I said the poison didn't.
Oh, okay.
apply.
I thought you said it did. Sorry.
No, no worries.
So yeah, that's 19.
Okay.
Maybe it felt that.
Yeah, I was gonna say it felt that a little bit more. It's going to take the legendary action Detect.
Ah.
Kara, are you trying to hide?
Not at this point.
You see the dragon's head turn towards you, and its eyes narrow into slits. And it changes its course, its serpentine body curling on a dime to start flying its way towards you. Gil, you look over your shoulder and see the golden dragon heading directly in your direction.
Did I see the ballista?
Yes, Gil's currently sprinting at it in hopes of trying to either, I guess, rip it apart.
Yeah, he is going over there to try to, because it's ballistas are the one that are the giant harpoons, pretty much, right?
Essentially, yeah, they're just big-ass crossbows.
Yeah, they're giant crossbows.
He's going to cut the cord, the cable, whatever it is, so it can't fly.
Okay.
And like he's dashing over there. He is taking his full movement to get there.
Mm-hmm.
So 80 feet.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And, Caro, anything else you want to do, or are you just going to wait for it to reach you?
How loud can you be? Like in the
You can be fairly loud. You want Caro to just essentially scream at it?
I mean, yes, like it obviously sees her, so she's gonna like start aggressively gesturing over to the ballista.
Make a persuasion check at disadvantage.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Because you did attack it.
I mean, yeah. There wasn't much I could do. Let me see. Okay. Where's my persuasion? Down there. 17. I got good rolls. Getting good rolls tonight.
That was cocked.
How big is this dragon?
Size category wise, it's huge.
Alright, just thinking, there's like a random thought. Could I put him in a bag of holding? Stuff this man in a bag of holding.
Let's be real, if that worked, Troppu would totally have used that to catch it.
Yeah.
The creature, in its flight, looks in the direction you're gesturing and sees Gil with his ionic axe sprinting towards the ballista, looks back at you, back at the ballista, and you can see its chest beginning to heat with more fire, but it pauses, and you can almost make out it giving you a nod before it flies over you. Who's firing on the dragon? I did not give you leave! We had a plan for this! Gil, make me an athletics check. And I'm going to tell you right now, even if you make this, you are going to take a point of exhaustion. That is a lot of ground you're covering in seconds. So if you roll high enough, I'll allow it, but you're going to take a point of exhaustion. So make an athletics check.
25.
All right. You have a point of exhaustion, but you do make it. Ground that had taken you almost an hour to cross stealthily, you just start sprinting. And you can already see the serpent guarding the ballista, raising its hood and flashing its eyes at you. But as you've already resisted the hypnosis ability today, you are immune. Make an attack roll.
As he's running, he just gives it the middle finger as he's heading towards the ballista. $25 to hit.
All right. Gil, you basically like Assassin's Creed your way up the building, leap, and slice the cord of the ballista, which snaps, and make me a dex save.
Oh.
Gotta watch this one.
17. Oh, wait, yeah, 17.
All right. Now, and for the record, this is actually a real thing. If you slice a cord that is stretched taut, it will snap and probably kill someone. Just bear that in mind.
I'm aware.
Yeah, like the cords they use to like hold like really big tanker ships and to like port. Those things are like lethal if they ever break, which is where they have to be kept like to an extremely high standard for like worker safety and shit.
Mm-hmm. Gil, as the wires snap in response to you slicing them with plasma, you are whipped across the face with burning hot metal as the cord snaps. And you take 15 slashing, but have disabled the ballista. And you can hear Troppu's voice speak up again. Starboard ballista's down! What is happening down there?
And then he's looking for the next ballista.
Gil, you manage to make out as the dragon almost like kind of grinds to a halt and watches the ballista carefully to make sure it can't truly fire. You see all the way across on the other side of the airship the next ballista taking aim.
So what he would like to, if he can, after this point, he's going to activate his rocket boots.
Okay.
He's going to not aggressively fly in front of the dragon so that when they shoot the ballista, he wants to try to cut the projectile in half. Therefore,
Excuse me.
and like get it so that it doesn't hit.
You can certainly try.
Do you have any idea how improbable that is?
You can certainly try.
I feel like he'd have to nat 20 that to even have a chance.
Oh, it's not going to be easy. I'm telling you right now.
Like, I feel like anything short of a nat 20 would be a fail.
But we need this dragon, and we need it to not fall into any hands. He is risking everything for pretty much the Sundragon, the party, and this fucking dragon.
I also see another problem. You split in half, but then still flying, right?
Well,
you'd have to cut it like on the shaft,
technically,
because then the cutting it would probably make it go wild if he cut it like straight perpendicular to the shaft. But yeah, if he cut it like right down its middle, like up from the point. By the way, that would probably be impossible because of the metal head. But yeah, it might not change the trajectory enough to not hit the dragon.
I mean, he's got a sword that can cut through metal, so...
It would depend on how early he caught it.
The way he plans to do it is he's going to hit down so that it goes, like, underneath the dragon.
Underneath the dragon?
Yeah, like, he's going to aim to hit the projectile so it goes down.
So he's going to hit towards the head to knock it down.
Okay, you can certainly try.
That's all Matt's gonna say.
I'm
Gil.
fucking Mary
Again, I
Poppins.
feel like nothing short of a nat 20 could achieve this.
I already know what he's going to have to roll to land this. It's just a matter of if he can.
Yeah, and then Lucy's just falling to the sky, just like seeing all this. She's like, alright.
Yeah, we're going to get to that.
So yeah, Lucy, you do remember there are dragons that patrol the airspace around this thing, right?
And Lucian just jumped over the side, which I had earlier established twice was built over the central fan that is whirring at high speeds.
Amanda forgot about that.
Amanda forgot. Well, Lucian is in trouble. Lucian's in trouble because Amanda forgot.
Them's the shit.
Punch it down! Punch it down! He is toast!
You guys hate her, so what? Why do I care?
And Zephyr seeing all this go down from like miles away.
By the way, did Caleb see Lucian jump?
Yes, Caleb, as you're climbing down from the balloon, you can see all of the robots are surging towards the dragon, this fucking tidal wave of metal. You see Lucian dive over the side. Make a perception check.
And you can continue.
Okay, yeah, I'll come back to you, don't worry. Yeah, and you see Caro take some shots at it, gesture, and the dragon goes sailing to help Gil. And all right, yeah, I'll come back to you.
Caleb cannot believe the insanity he has witnessed in this moment.
In just a few seconds, everything's gone completely batshit.
Lucian jumped into
what's funny too?
blade.
I was planning for the battle between the dragon and the ship to be just a thing you guys witnessed while making your way to the city, but you guys were like, hey, we got here, let's just fly up to it.
Oh my god, Matthew, you had to be fighting back laughter whenever we started flying out there.
I mean, yeah, because I knew you guys were going to be in the fucking epicenter of this carnage. Anyway. Keto, Gil, Caleb, the three of you watch as machines begin to surge towards the side of battle as Troppu gives out another command. Forget it! Plan B! Machines, do what you were built for! And you see the dragons beginning to surge, and Gil, as the machines begin to form this like murder of mechanical crows circling the dragon, they all begin to fire their harpoons. And while many of them simply glance off at scales or don't find good purchase, several of them do manage to find it. And you watch as enough of them find it, and those who miss reload and get another shot, the dragons all start flying apart from each other. And Caro, you watch as the dragon, with harpoons digging under its scales all over its body, begins to get basically like forcibly uncurled as the port side ballista takes aim and fires. Gil, make me an attack roll at disadvantage.
You will basically need probably 2 nat 20s in a row.
How did you say that? Or no?
I will reveal what you would need to get after you complete the roll.
Watching you.
I'm watching you.
Nice.
So 27. The other one would be 32. No, 32.
And what was the base roll of the disadvantage, just for my reference?
Base roll is a 12 with a plus 15.
Yeah, I will freely say I wasn't going to let that. I normally would have allowed it to be a little easier, but given that you just sprinted several, because I want you to give me, Gil, you just ran at a mile per second to get to the ballista and slice its cord, took a plasma cord to the face, and then immediately tried to cut back around and cut this ballista. I wasn't going to let that fly unless you got 2 nat 20s in a row.
Like I said, let's see. So that would be 60 miles a minute times 60. 3,600 miles an hour.
You can see why I was so hesitant to let Gil even do that.
Let's see, speed of sound in miles per hour.
Yeah, I think Gil may have legitimately just...
Let's see, miles per hour to Mach. Let's see. That was, let's see, 3,600. So that was like Mach 4.5. He went 4.5 times the speed of fucking sound. The sonic boom.
And this is why whenever he said, I go...
All of us.
Yeah, and this is why whenever Gil said, I go cut the ballista, I initially was like, no, you don't.
No.
You do not do that, in fact.
The only reason I said anything is because at first you didn't say the building you were on earlier, or at least I didn't hear that. That's the reason why I said
because I'd said that the display cases were on the pathway, and he was going after those and explicitly moving to the next one. So, yeah, that would have taken him several miles away from the ballista.
Oh my god, you would...
That said, we can go over the ridiculousness of Gil's handmade peasant railgun later.
And then fucking Lucian jumps over the side into the fan, out of the pan, and into the fire.
I feel like she would have remembered that, but it's too late for that.
I mean, you can't just be like, she would have remembered that every time you forget something. Like,
well,
at what point...
Like, I'm a forgetful person, but like, she's got a fucking keen mind. She mechanically would have remembered that.
Oh, tough, you did it.
I know. Okay? I know.
Well, she's not dead yet. Let's not freak out.
That
said...
Let's see what happens.
The dragon is restrained, and Gil, although you try, a ballista projectile whistles past you and strikes the dragon in the heart. However, it's not dead yet, and it lets out a mighty roar of anger and frustration as it starts to struggle against the what is now a massive ballista harpoon driven into it, and the several hundred smaller harpoons from the dragon bots. Bring it down, but leave its pieces intact. I need its body whole. Lucian, make me a dexterity saving throw.
There you go. Make that save. All you gotta do is nail the save, and you'll probably be fine.
It's a pretty good roll.
Okay.
It's an 18.
No.
No, 7.
No.
She said dex save. 4
That's
plus...
a 17.
I don't know. That's what I just said. I missed off.
So that's a 17?
Correct.
Okay. Yep, okay. Lucian, as you fall, you see one of the rotating fan blades beginning to cut around the side, and you have just enough time to remember that indeed the area you were positioned over had the fan beneath it. And although you curl up into a ball to attempt to minimize your hitbox, so to speak, you are bashed in the head by this massive propeller. You take...
Hey!
You take 40 bludgeoning damage.
Oh, okay. That's not as bad as I thought.
It's a lot, but it's survivable.
I thought it would be like 100 damage.
Now, bear in mind, this isn't like this thing isn't moving at airplane speeds. It's moving at like turbine speeds, which is fast, but not like decapitate you fast.
Yeah.
However, Lucian, you are badly injured as this thing clobbers you in the side of the head, and you go into a full-on spin as you start falling to the desert below.
Well,
Cool.
you're not dead.
Do I need to
So
make another save?
No, not at the moment. You still have Featherfall, yes?
Yeah, but I need to check and see if it's not a...
Con save.
I probably should.
Caleb, as you reach the base of the auxiliary engine, you manage to make out Lucian still intact, spinning down into the desert below. She appears to have survived her trip through the turbine.
Caleb is just like, well, that's good.
And turning your
I was worried
attention,
about
you see that the snakebots have not left their position. However, you do see they are watching the battle intently.
that. Does it seem like he might be able to sneak past them now?
It's certainly possible. At the very least, it's not watching in front of it.
All right. If worse comes, let's see. Caleb wants to make sure he has an exit strategy. Do the lifts have doors?
No, they're basically just like open lifts.
How high up do the lifts go?
This one is going to take you about, looks like about 40 feet in the air.
I lose concentration, by the way. I rolled at
Okay.
disadvantage. Got a hit on her.
Let's see. So 40 feet would be what? 4d6?
3d6. It's every 10 feet after the first 10. And it caps out at a certain point, so it'd be 3d6 bludgeoning.
Okay. So if he Does it look like he could jump from the lift if he needed to and land back on the platform?
It wouldn't be. It's not. It kind of goes up at an angle. You certainly feel like you could make the jump, but it's not a perfect flat direction. So it's possible, but basically you're not completely eliminating the risk of if you just straight jump it.
Okay, if it's angled, could he like slide down it back to the base?
It'd be risky, but certainly possible.
What would he? What seems more risky, the jump or the slide?
Make a survival check.
Survival check. Interesting. What do I get? I only get +1 to survival. Caleb is not a good survivalist. He would probably die on his own. 17.
You estimate that jumping would be safer than sliding, because if you slide, all you need to do is lean in one direction and you're falling. You're going the same direction as Lucian without magic. But if you jump it, as long as you get a good running start, you feel like you could make it.
So he would have an exit strategy if this thing does still see him and comes after him.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like he'd rather take 3d6 than get wrecked by this thing. Alright, we're gonna take the chance.
Alright, make me a stealth check.
And I get advantage on this because sound is involved.
Yes. Especially because it's not looking directly at you, so seeing you would be its primary method of knowing what's happening.
Okay, so the first roll +9. So the first roll was 17, and the second roll is 28.
Okay. We'll come back to you in just a second, but you get to the base of the auxiliary engine and run and kind of sidle past a few buildings to make it to the lift, and with a crank, start getting yourself going up. Lucian, you lose concentration on your feather fall, and you fall 500 feet. However, you still got quite a bit of falling to go, so you do have some rounds to figure something out.
I can use my reaction to cast it again.
Yeah, so if it matters, at the moment, after that fall you just took, you are currently...
They just said they can use their reaction to recast it.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I was just pointing out, because Featherfall, I think, slows your rate of descent, so I don't know if Lucian wants to, wait till a certain point to cast it. So just in case that does matter, you are currently 1,900 feet in the air.
And it's 500 feet per round.
I'll just free fall.
Alright. In that case, we'll come back to you. Lucian, you kind of managed to shake off what is likely going to be a concussion. You've lost concentration on the spell immediately, but you do see that you have quite a bit of distance to the ground, so you have time to regather your thoughts, and you're essentially skydiving, but with much higher stakes.
Let it not be said that she doesn't take risks.
Hey, if she survives this, she could just brag to Sundragon that she was skydiving and she never did. She could outdo Sundragon on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lucian basically just invented skydiving. All right. I didn't think I'd have to say this here, but everyone roll for initiative? I'm gonna be real.
Spotted?
No, but because now at this point a pitched battle is taking place between the airship and the dragon, and you guys are kind of caught in the middle of it. So I figured this would just reduce complication of whose thing happens when. Especially because from the sound, Gil, I'm gonna take a wild fucking guess here and say that you're planning to just start trying to either cut the cord or cut the robots off or something.
Pretty much.
All right.
He's helping this dragon.
And Carol, I imagine you have something similar planned?
Yes.
So, yeah, I figure it's only fair that at this point initiative is rolled.
Yeah.
Alright, I get advantage on that.
Alright. Zephyr, obviously you're exempt from this, but I
Yeah.
apologize for everything.
I mean, yeah, Zephyr just having a casual walk with Red, just like, all right, let's go steal some.
Yeah, just like, man, how you been doing, man? Like it's just, oh yeah, I'm doing all right.
Ready to steal some things, and then there's just.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be
chaos.
fun. Oh, looks like they're dealing with a lot over there. Is that Lucian falling? Huh?
By the way, Matthew, if Caleb was to, like, sneak into a place and found, like, Troppu, would he be considered to have taken a turn in combat? Or is he not taking a turn yet?
I'll get back to you on that. A, I'm gonna need to give it some thought, and B, we'll need to see if that's even relevant to begin with.
Yeah. I wanted to get you thinking about it.
Plus,
Yeah, that's fair.
as long as he doesn't know you're there, you also get it there.
Yeah. He'd still be surprised if he doesn't see you coming. So, but yeah, whether he's taking a turn in combat, yeah, it would matter. All right, 25 to 20.
19.
23.
Y'all always get amazing initiative rolls, by the way.
Well,
I rolled really well.
I also
for
have
whatever reason.
advantage on my initiative.
Yeah, I did too, and yeah, give it a second. We'll wait till Matthew gets to me.
Yeah.
And I have a +5.
20 to 15.
16. That was on the first roll. The second roll was a 1.
Lucian had a 19, if you didn't hear that.
Yeah, I heard her.
Okay,
15,
just want to make sure.
15. No worries. 15 to 10.
I got an 11.
All right, and Caro coming in with an 11. Raccoon has good initiative, so 15.
Yeah, I would have left her with Caro, by the way.
Yeah, I assumed. And the dragon, not a great roll, but good stats, is going to be coming in at... Oh, not quite as high. Not quite as high as I expected, actually. Yeah, no bonuses. All right. Initiative. One thing a dragon's not good at, apparently.
Well, Dex.
And
I guess it's to give the players a chance to hit it before it annihilates them.
Fair. The ship itself coming in at also not very good. All right.
Who rolled higher, the dragon or the ship?
The ship.
Oh.
All right, so this is going to be a bit weird, so everyone just kind of bear with me for a bit.
Luckily, the ship
Gil.
and dragon part is probably going to be kind of simulated battle.
Well, yeah, because I'd actually already rolled out how that battle was going to play out. So again, you guys being here kind of throws a wrench into that. I'm going to freely tell you guys, a whole night of planning with one decision just went out the window. Just letting you know. Yeah, no, that's fine. It's funny. All right. Gil, you're up with Lucian on deck. You see that the dragon is held down by the harpoon from the ballista, and the dragon's harpooning it to basically they're holding it almost like they're like it's this dark imagery of almost like they're crucifying it as the ballista bleeds it from the heart, and it's beginning to sport several smaller wounds as the dragon automatons begin to tear into it. What would you like to do?
Okay, so there's no cable attached to the ballista shot, right?
No, there is. I mentioned that earlier.
Okay, so he's gonna go and cut that cable, and then after he cuts that one, he's gonna use his second attack to are there any harpoons in the dragon's wings?
Many.
He's gonna try to cut one of those cables as well, and then a third cable is after that.
All right, so you're basically just trying to sever cables. Okay.
Correct.
All right, first...
Giving the dragon more movement.
All right. First, make an attack roll, and let me double check. I need to see if your exhaustion affects this.
Is that
No,
cable
it
under
doesn't.
tension?
It's only ability score.
Okay.
He's good.
Matthew.
All right. So Gil, and not as much because it just got fired, so they haven't started reeling it yet. Gil, attack roll. You do not have disadvantage on this, so attack roll against the ballista cable.
It's a 28.
You manage to sever the cable of the ballista. The harpoon itself is still dug into the beast, but the wire now dangles limply.
He's going to then strike at 2 more cables holding onto its wings.
All right, 2 more attack rolls.
29.
All right, that's a hit. You manage to slice the tails of one of the dragon bots holding the thing down, and it lets it and hisses at you. And a third one, swing.
25.
Another tail severed, but at this point the dragons are starting to notice you, and you don't exactly have the element of surprise anymore.
Yeah, and at this point he's going to look at the dragon and he's going to say, I don't know if you understand me or not, but you need to try to get out of this and escape if you can. Like, don't worry about the ship. Go.
It kind of stares over its shoulder at you. It doesn't respond, but you can't tell if it can understand you or not. But it does look at you when you talk, at the very least. Is that the end of your turn?
Absolutely, yes.
All right, Lucian, you're up. Caleb on deck. Lucian, you.
I'm free falling.
Free falling. All right. At this point, you fall another 500 feet, which puts you at 1,400 feet above the ground.
I'm just thinking about everything as I fall and watch my impending doom.
Like, your life flashes before your eyes.
Yeah.
Thinking about a lot of things and just waiting.
Imagine if Lucian landed in another one of the serpent traps.
Be pretty fun. Be pretty funny, honestly. All right. Caleb, you're up. Raccoon and the airship going after.
Did I
Caleb,
sneak
you're just
past
gonna.
the thing?
The lift is taking you up there. And again, it's a little bit on the slow side, but you manage to reach the
technically, I'm
top.
not using any of my movement because it's
Yeah. It's just that the lift itself is kind of slow. Probably for the safety of those on it. Caleb, you make it to the top of the blimp on the left.
I'm surprised they care about safety.
Looking around, you see that there's essentially this big central sort of... It's a bit hard to describe, but essentially this sort of big dome in the center of this blimp platform. The serpent stands on guard at the door directly in front of you, but is currently looking at the battle and does not seem to have noticed you yet. So you see that there's this kind of central... What's up?
Do I sneak past it with the stealth I rolled earlier?
It does not appear to see you, but I'm basically just giving you a chance to look at your surroundings and decide what you want to do next. You see that...
Sneak past it.
Well, where... Are you just going to go through the front door?
Okay. Does it seem like it has, like, windows?
Yeah, I was going to say, make a perception check. That's why I was describing everything first.
But somebody's impatient.
Let me do some math here.
Yeah.
It's Phaedra, what do you expect?
Boucher?
15.
Looking around, you see that there is an air vent on either side of the
Perfect.
dome.
He's going to sneak to one side to get to the air vent.
All right, make me a stealth roll.
I already rolled it.
Well, no, that was to get up here without being noticed by anything. Now you just got to get past this thing and into the...
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
Good thing I have advantage. Okay, advantage didn't help me. 19.
All right. Keeping low to the ground, you have this nerve-wracking thing of having to just quietly go around it, almost in its periphery, but just pray it doesn't notice you. And the moment you turn the corner of the dome, you start just booking it in hopes that it didn't see you. And you don't hear any hissing or rattling, just the sound of roars and mechanical screeching on the other side of the ship. The air vent's a bit above you. Just for my reference, are you going to try and quietly break it open with thieves' tools, or just bust it open and crawl in?
Yes.
We'll try to keep quiet.
I don't think he's like,
All right,
Wait. He
have,
said
have you bought
the way
these
he
tools?
said that made me think I had them.
Did you ever?
Well, I genuinely
don't know why.
Have you
I genuinely didn't know if you had them or not.
Yeah.
I don't. So, I shouldn't have said anything. Do I get inspiration for pointing out I don't have these?
I mean,
Given that that's just kind of a basic thing, I'm not going to necessarily give you points for just straight up not cheating. Sorry.
Okay,
but
you can't
remember,
blame me for trying.
Yeah, bear in mind, if it helps, you do have a suit that lets you silently go through solid matter.
Oh yeah,
Sure.
can I use that to get into the vent?
Easily.
But just get to the
Because
wall.
he doesn't want to just go through like the side wall and just be standing right in front of the dude. He wants to sneak up behind him because he's a sneaky assassin like that.
Oh yeah.
All right. Caleb, it's some tough work as you basically realize as you kind of find your footing. There's a little staircase that goes up into a side door with the air vent positioned over it, and you realize that you're essentially going to have to dive into the vent, and then the moment you're fully inside, hit your button. If you go too early, your leg will be fused with the vent. If you go too late, you're going to have your arm or even your head in the sides of the vent itself. This is just going to be a flat D20 roll.
I don't like that. I don't like no mods. I cancel that.
I cancel that. What are you gonna do?
Can I try to quietly pry it open with a dagger?
Sure. Make me a dexterity check at disadvantage.
Okay. Dexterity check and disadvantage.
But yeah, doesn't it shoot you out, right? Or no? Or do you just actually just fuse into the wall?
No, I believe it's mentioned that you do just straight up get stuck.
Okay. And Caleb does not feel like cutting his own foot off right now.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't.
Maybe another time then.
Okay, so a disadvantage.
It doesn't state one way or the other. Yeah, but...
Gotta do my math. I'm not exactly starting on 13.
All right, Caleb, you break out a dagger, and
I'd rather
go on,
have
you...
the modifiers than
All right.
make a flat roll.
You start going to work, trying to... You have to basically stand on your tiptoes to reach it, but you start trying to unscrew parts of the vent with your dagger.
Do I need to make a stealth roll to see if I do it quietly?
Oh, no, because you haven't even opened it yet. This is just basically you starting on that, and then we'll see what happens from there. Raccoon...
I really need to get some thieves skills. Oh, wait. That's the end of my turn?
Well, is there anything else you want to do?
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that was the end of my turn.
Well, because it's going to take you a while, and this is happening in 6-second intervals, and you need to, like, unscrew these...
Fair. Yeah, I just didn't realize it was like... Okay.
No worries. All right. Caro, you're on deck, but a few NPCs need to go first. Raccoon, seeing what Gil is doing, none of their spells allow them to reach what's happening, though, so... Raccoon's just going to start sprinting towards the side of the battle, leaving you on your own, Caro. At least for now. It is now the airship and its crew's turn. Oh, crew in quotes. Gil, as the dragons stare at you, you hear Troppu's voice pipe up again after a few seconds have passed. Oh, it appears you've come for me at last, have you? Intruders in my sky paradise? Not going to happen. Machines? Rip him apart.
Not much of a paradise. It's quite ugly.
The dragons are going to attack you, Gil.
Can they multitask?
Can they multitask?
Well, their harpoons are already dug into him, and their goal is to fly apart, so they're just going to start trying to peck at you.
Yeah, they did their job. So.
Does a 32 hit?
I don't know. When it comes close, like, is it close to me?
Yes.
Because
their harpoons aren't...
Can't do that.
Huh?
So yes, a 32 hit.
All right. Actually, I am not rolling that many dice manually. I'm just going to break out more from my set. That is a lot of dice to just roll myself. No.
Considering how many dice he was willing to roll individually for Lucian earlier.
It could be the same amount, just now he has to do it over and over again. Gil's gonna have to rage in order to survive this, probably.
Okay, so I need that
No,
one.
even if he raged, there's no
That
way
one.
that he'd still get hit.
And, Gil does not have Featherfall.
No.
And he is, 2,000 feet in the air.
Yeah. We all are.
2,400.
So, if he goes unconscious, you might as well just kill him, because there's no way anyone's going to be able to save him.
If I see him, I can save him.
Well, the problem is you're too far
If I
away.
live.
Yeah, it's like, well, I guess maybe if you time it just right before he hits the ground.
And there's the other one. That is correct. Right? Oh, nope. Almost grabbed the wrong one. Silly me. I need this one. There we go. All right. Here we go. Moment of truth.
How fucked is Gil?
That's cocked. All right, and that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Gil, you take 55. What damage type is this? You take 65 bludgeoning damage.
Oh. Yeah, Caleb would have been down instantly.
I like the 55.
I like.
Are you
Well, I
sure
mean,
it's 55?
Most of our party probably would have been down instantly.
depending on how that's
I would've
depending
been I wouldn't know.
depending on how that was done. If that was just one of them hitting, I'm assuming it's like the whole flock.
No, it's the whole flock basically just bearing down on him and,
Yeah.
ripping him apart.
Yeah.
Speaking of, Gil, you are now restrained.
Owie.
I'm guessing more harpoons.
Basically, yeah, the harpoons that weren't in the dragon hit you, and then the ones who already have their harpoons busy elsewhere are just stabbing their beaks into you and, like, pulling you down.
Okay. How many harpoons are in him exactly?
You're a porcupine, my man. 10 harpoons just stabbed into you.
And I need to find that one gift.
If you're curious, you took 10 d12 plus 10 damage.
Oh, wow. That could have been way worse.
The rest of the flock is going to continue trying to bring down the dragon. That's a hit. And because this isn't a player, I'm going to take a shortcut and just say that it does the sort of average damage.
Mm-hmm.
The ballista reels in its cord and is going to fire at the dragon again. That's a hit. However, thanks to you guys keeping it here, the bow cannon cannot reach the dragon, so the bow cannon is out right now. However, the dragon is not looking good. It cannot keep this up for long.
Dragon came along, about to fuck up the ship, and it's like, well, I just got getting himself fucked up.
Yeah, the dragon, in fact, was the one getting fucked up.
Just like, oil there.
Oh, so is that gift is Gil, right?
Essentially, yes. All right, that is the end of the airship's turn. The dragon actually can't really do a whole lot here. Keto, you're up.
Okay. Is the dragon still fully restrained and everything?
Yes, it is restrained. It hasn't gotten a chance to try and break out yet.
How many harpoons does it have in it?
At the moment, about 20, 30.
Oof.
They're small compared to him. Probably just like lick that up.
Yeah, it's mostly the big-ass ballista one that's the problem.
Could I weaken the rope by shooting at it, of the big one?
Absolutely. Make an attack roll.
Didn't Gil already cut the...
Yeah, but it fired another one.
Oh.
Yeah.
Don't forget, you got that plasma crossbow.
27.
Yeah, and yeah, out of curiosity, are you using the plasma crossbow or your regular one, just for
using
flavor?
Plasma crossbow.
Okay. All right. Leveling your scoped plasma crossbow. The cord is basically just stretching over your head and dangling precariously over the fan blades. Leveling your plasma crossbow. You manage to pierce through it, and yet another ballista cord dangles limply, and you actually see parts of it get shredded by the fan as it falls into it.
Yeah, I bet Troppu is not a fan of that.
Yeah, Troppu is pissed would be putting a very, 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 very comfy pillow under what's really happening.
I was just... Let me see. I guess I'll shoot one of the smaller ones, too.
Alright. Roll.
Might as well try to get as many off of this poor creature.
Valid.
$25.
25?
Yeah.
Alright. You level your
Can you hear
plasma
me now?
crossbow. Yes.
Okay.
You level your plasma crossbow, and fire. But again, this battle's taking place miles away from you. While you actually do come very close, you sadly do not come close enough to knock the harpoons loose.
And
Even with the impressive range of your crossbow, it's just too far away.
Yeah, I also said, well, if Caleb has anything to say about it, Troppu won't be
wait,
feeling
well, how
much
far
of
away
anything
is
in a
it?
little bit.
From you right now,
Yes.
it is... Okay, so you were here when this happened, and the battle's taking place over here now. So I'll say maybe 2 from either direction. It's about 4 miles away from you.
How many feet is 4 miles? I need to check. I know that's far away. Let's see.
Like, why is it 1,000?
1 mile is
Yeah.
2,000 feet.
Wow.
So
No,
it's
I'm more
20.
curious.
Yeah, the battle's taking place 21,120 feet away from you.
Well then, interesting. Well, I got the big one, so that's fine.
Yeah. All right, that's the end of your turn, Kara?
Yes.
All right. It is now the Gold Dragon's turn. It's restrained until the end of its next turn. Okay, so it is no longer restrained. Gil. The dragon curves its head around and... I will not abandon my city and my people to the machinations of an airborne madman. And with that, they take a deep breath and are going to exhale weakening breath.
What does that do?
If the airship's crew fails this save, they will have disadvantage on strength attack rolls, checks, and saving throws for the next minute.
Is that going to affect us too?
No, because Gil is over him and everyone else is too far away.
But how did he hit the airship crew? We're on the airship.
Well,
Because bear in mind, they're all like attached to him, but Gil's the only one who's actually at the site of battle. Everyone else is several miles away.
Yeah, like you're
okay.
that part, not the whole airship.
Mm-hmm.
I know. That's all I got.
Yep, and this, and yeah, no, they 100% failed that. Oh wait, actually, nah, they managed to resist it, just barely. I thought the low roll would have gotten it, but no. The crew continues to tear into him. That's his action, but
Legendary
he is no longer
action?
restrained. Yeah, well, he needs to do legendary actions on us at the end of another creature's turn, but we'll see. Top of the round. All of you hear Troppu call over the intercom again. I remember all of you from Mercurial. You're just like everyone else. You can't appreciate my genius. I deserve this body. None of you understand what the Icar's capable of doing for me, why I need it. I would sooner see all of you thrown from this ship than give up what is rightfully mine. I should have had this from birth. But if I can't have it from my birth, then I'll certainly have it from your deaths.
Yeah. All talk, little to show for it.
I mean, Caleb really hopes he's in this airship that he's climbing into.
Wow.
Even if
And-
he might be robbing Kara of their kill, but he feels like it has to be done.
Mm-hmm.
Gil, a few seconds pass before you hear a response. Is that so, Mr. Gyoga? Crew, keep the beast restrained. Everyone else, there's intruders on my ship. Destroy them.
Oh, Gil just revealed something. I don't think what did Gil say exactly.
I never said there was anyone on the ship.
Well, maybe
Did you say
There's
we?
you on the ship.
Yeah, there's me.
I guess he could.
You don't think he's smart enough to put together that everyone else might be right behind you?
Hopefully, he doesn't
No,
have an
because maybe
idea
he
where
figured out
Caleb
that dumb
is.
barbarian tried to do it on his own.
Well, his assumption is that you have a party behind you.
Well, what is Gil gonna do?
Yeah, speaking of, Gil, you're up. Lucian on deck.
You said I was restrained, right?
Yes, you are restrained until the end of the airship's turn. If it matters what restraining actually does...
Can you contest it?
Not here. Your speed is 0, and you can't benefit from any speed-based bonuses. Attack rolls against you have advantage. Your attack rolls have disadvantage, and you have disadvantage on dex saves.
So it's not like a grapple where you can contest it on your turn.
Yeah, restrained, it's basically all about the creature hitting you. But you can still fight back while you're restrained. I mean, you can while you're grappled, too. But so basically, it's not a game ender, but it certainly complicates things. Gil, what do you do?
So, first, I want to Misty Step. Because it does not... Because that should get him out of that state.
Okay. You Misty Step. Out of just for flavor, anywhere in particular you want to appear?
Right next to the gold dragon. Like off to his side.
Okay. Gil, as the harpoons try to drag you closer to the dragon, almost like they're hoping to pin you against its scales and tie you together, you tune into your elvish heritage and Misty Step, reappearing next to the gold dragon, who has now broken free from his restraints, and the dragons are just holding on to him for dear life, basically. What do you do now?
I'm going to start hitting the wings of the mechanical dragons. Trying to
All right.
take out as many as I can.
All right, roll to hit.
If he's aiming for a specific part, wouldn't he have disadvantage?
Well, bear in mind, there's so many dragons that, I'm going to be blunt, any single one of you, barring spells like Fireball, just frankly aren't going to do enough to, basically you would need area of effect abilities to, whittle through this entire army of robots by yourselves. So I'm more counting this as an attack against the airship itself.
Okay, so that's a 30 for the first attack.
Okay?
Might as well roll all of them.
Yeah, I was going to say, just roll all of them. I'll tell you how many hit.
And the second one is a 26.
Okay. First hit, second misses.
Dear Lord.
Boss dear.
All right. Gil, what do you do?
Or
Or rather, yeah. 15 damage?
Yeah.
Okay. That's 15. Okay. Gil, you slice. You slice. You're basically just flying and tornadoing through this army of machines, slicing wings, tails, heads, everything your axe can reach, it slices clean. but their numbers are still impressive. Anything else on your turn, Gil?
On Saturday, right, Matthew?
Right. And is that it for you, Gil?
Sadly, because I forgot to rage. So.
I mean.
Because he already used his bonus action, Misty Step.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Is Lucian free falling?
Yeah, Lucian, you fall another 500 feet. You're 900 feet from the ground now.
Sure. Okay.
Okay. Caleb, you're up. Carol, you'll be on deck after a few NPCs.
All right, now do I roll to see if I open it quietly?
Yes, make me a stealth check.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, that is going to be a 27.
Okay. Caleb, you start unscrewing using your dagger as an improvised screwdriver because Zephyr's the only one in this party who bothers with lockpicks. You managed
really
to
buy some.
Yeah.
stand on your tiptoes and pull the air vent free quietly, but you can hear that warning from Troppu to the crew that there are intruders on the vessel, and you quickly scramble into the air vent as fast as you can and manage to just barely get yourself fully inside of it before you hear the rattling of the serpent robot checking the area.
Whew. I guess now I'll try to quietly crawl along in the air vent to see if we can't find... He's hoping to find Troppu himself, but we'll see.
All right.
And this is the one
Caleb.
that Ruby got taken to, right?
Yes.
Okay. Do I need to roll another stealth to see if I crawl through the vents quietly?
No, since you already rolled stealth to get into it quietly, I'll allow... since it's on effectively the same turn, I'll allow it. All right. You effectively, quote-unquote, dash, but you're crawling, so that's not much. You crawl, and you crawl. Until eventually you come to the other end of the vent. And you can't see through it. I mean, you can see through it, but you can't, like, fully see, because, again, it's a graded vent. But you are able to see what you're looking at. You see the inside of the blimp itself, which, while the walls are still made out of canvas, the internals themselves are actually doing stuff. You see, from where the front door is to under where your vent is, and then finally to the stern side, a series of 4 bridges that connect to a massive central platform that's like cylindrical in shape. And you see people, not robots. You see various goblins on the ground and Tengu flying through the air, all flitting around, readying what appears to be several, what appear to be like harpoon guns, but much smaller than the ballista, lining the sides of it, and they seem to be equipped with grappling hooks rather than harpoons. And you can hear a somewhat low, bassy voice pipe over the din of the battle outside and everything going on in here. Come on, come on! Make sure everything's loaded! The moment they bring that beast over here, we're bringing it down! You heard the boss.
Can Caleb see the boss that they're referring to?
Make a perception check.
That is going to be an 18.
Looking around, you see Bragdu, the goblin that Raccoon claimed to have recognized, who appears to be the one giving the orders. You don't see Troppu himself anywhere. However, you do see that beneath you, across from you, are simply just observational platforms with various barrels and crates of presumably supplies of some kind. And of course, the path to your left, that would be from the bow of the balloon, leads out to that door you saw. But you see that the stern side pathway leads up to a grand-looking office. And kind of squinting and pressing your face against the cool metal grate, you can just make out, not at a wheel like you would expect, but just sitting in the office overlooking the operations through the window, is Troppu Bikuk, the well-dressed Tengu. You would have to bust open the vent, as you cannot reach the screws from here.
Can he maybe try to bend the grate of the vent to give him enough to just get the barrels, just a little bit of the barrel through?
You can certainly try. Make me a strength check.
Oh, shit.
I mean, yeah.
Caleb gets -1 to strength checks.
Yeah.
Come on, dice. I need you to qualify. God, I wish I had a fucking lucky point right now. That is going to be an 18.
Okay.
Yeah, you actually got exactly what you needed. Caleb, you strain and struggle against the metal and manage to just barely force some of it open. Less open and more just bending it outward, popping it almost like a soda can, and bringing your rifle to bear.
Rifle.
I figured. All right. Since you used a dash and busted the vent open, you can take your shot on your next turn.
Son of a bitch.
Raccoon is still just fucking booking it, trying to make it to the battle.
Wait a
The
second.
airship.
Matt,
What's up?
Did it take?
What's up?
Did it take anything to like unlock the vent?
It was a strength check, like trying to like force it open. Basically, why?
Well, talking about just like when you pried it open, the thing, but to do it stealthily, because you can bonus action dash.
Oh, that's
Well,
right.
yes, it still would have been his. Well, yeah, but it still would. That's why I let him dash and do that, because it was his bonus action to dash and then his action to force the vent open enough to let him get a shot.
To know the action part.
I hope you're going to let us finish this one today.
Huh? I mean, I doubt
Well, that depends on you guys.
Yesterday, y'all went like almost like 30 minutes late.
Well, yeah, but to be fair, I knew that battle wasn't going to take long. This one is going to depend on so many factors. And in last week's session when we fought the serpent robot.
Yeah, it's like yesterday we actually called it like quite a bit early.
Okay. Seriously, I corrected that. Did you not hear me?
A little bit, no, but either way.
Either way, the airship.
Yeah, at the end of Caleb and Raccoon's turns, the dragon is going to make some legendary actions to try and weaken them. One of which is an @20, but still a lot of HP to cut through. On their turn, he doesn't want to use that and hurt you guys, though, so he's going to play it safe. He's going to make a bite. That's a miss. Gonna make a claw. That's a hit. Gonna make another claw. Also hit. So that's 30 slashing. At this point, a lot of the machines have been cut down. You estimate that you've taken out like at least half of them now. But there's still a lot to go through, and the dragon himself is not looking good.
Mm-hmm.
That is the end of the airship's turn, however. Keto, you're up.
Keto the hero.
I feel like I'm gonna have to try to get closer to the battle.
Alright. So you want to just dash?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, I'll be nice since I let Gil do it. Make me an athletics check.
Okay. 20. Dirty 20.
Okay. I'll say it's your action, and you take a point of exhaustion, if that's okay.
Yeah.
But you break out in just a mad sprint, and as you run, you actually pass by Raccoon, who's just like kind of running as fast as they can, and just basically scoop them up and just keep running. And you manage to skid to a stop at the base of the battle. The dragons rampaging, whirring bodies swinging over your head, and an army of robots on all sides. You can see the tiger droids like clambering over each other to get up to the battle. You can see the dragons just swooping and swirling around. You have arrived at the site of battle. I'll say it was your action and movement, but you can use a bonus action if you like.
I forget what is my second shot a bonus action? I forget.
No, that's part of an attack action.
Okay, I was making sure. I don't know if I have anything I can do as a bonus action, so.
Okay.
The bonus action.
At this point, both creatures involved in this aerial battle are pretty hurt, so they're going to start taking legendary action. So is that it for you, Carol?
Yeah.
All right. The dragon is going to take the wing attack legendary action. Gil, make me a dex save.
Oh boy.
He has a point of exhaustion, so wouldn't he have disadvantage?
That's on ability checks. Doesn't apply to saves.
Okay, gotcha.
That was a natural 20, so 25.
All right. You managed to succeed the save. You'll take... actually, no. You won't even take half. You just won't take anything.
Good.
The crew, unfortunately, managed to resist it, too. The airship, for their legendary action at the end of Karo's turn, as, again, the battle's getting to its most intense part, so they're just going to just focus purely on, just going. What do they want to do? They're going to use the Angered Assault legendary action. You all hear the tinny voice, and Caleb, you can actually see Troppu's like looking through what appears to be a periscope of some kind, and then turns and hits a button and starts to speak, and you can hear his voice echoing all throughout the airship. We need more reinforcements on the starboard side. All non-essential crew members divert your attention to the battle. Bring my new body down.
Wait,
And
they use himself with this dragon?
Quite possibly.
Wow.
All of you see as machine upon machine begin to flood from the leftmost ship. Caleb is in the right one. From the left side, countless more machines flood out to join the battle. And Gil and Caro, as you're like catching your breath from your literally miles-long sprint, it's that sinking feeling that there's just too much for you to cut through and you do not have the manpower on your own to do it. Especially with Lucian falling and Zephyr nowhere to be found.
And Caleb off somewheres.
Mm-hmm. Now, that is their legendary actions for this turn. It is now the airship's specific turn. Ballista. All right. It's a miss. The crew. Sorry, a lot of math. Okay. And against the dragon. That's a hit. Okay. The dragon and Gil, you both continue to fight off waves upon waves of the just machines, especially the new reinforcements that have just arrived. And Gil, you hear the dragon start bellowing out from under the chaos and screeching robots. Run! It's important that you escape!
And what about you? If you fall, that gives the enemy so it'll be worse for your city if you fall as well.
The dragon seems like it wants to argue until all of you hear from across the ship. The ballista is fired again, and the dragon turns to look and sees it careening not towards itself, but towards you, Gil. Gil, you can't move. You can't dodge. And you've seen that thing strike the heart of this flailing beast twice perfectly. This airship is run with literal mechanical precision. If that thing hits you, you're a dead man. There is a mighty roar that deafens all of you, and even Caleb, your ears start to ring. Gil, you are pushed as the dragon forces itself free from the restraints. And Caro, you have this visage of the dragon pushing Gil out of the way and shielding him with its massive serpentine body as the ballista bolt strikes true.
Like some legendary action.
Gil, you see a massive golden eye staring at you, and you can see the life drain from it. As the dragon... As the dragon begins to, not even falling just straight to the ground, it's this almost beautiful gliding. And as it starts to like glide to the deck of the ship, you can hear, and Caleb, you can literally see Troppu looking through the periscope and just putting his feathered hands up in a cheer and just, that's it, bring it down! Now bring it to headquarters. We're starting the procedure immediately.
Question.
Answer.
As soon as it left my range, I know this is going to sound horrible. Can I decapitate it, therefore ruining his plan?
Make an attack roll.
That's a big neck.
I'll say with advantage, yeah, because not only big neck, but also it's leaving your range, albeit not willingly, and I will say, as you know, kind of throwing you a bit of a bone, that given that it is literally not moving, it's not attempting to stop you.
So, as it's leaving my range, I'm going to say, I'm sorry, but this will benefit not just yourself for a quicker death, but it will save your city in the long run. And it's a natural 20.
Gil, reeling back your ionic axe, you swing and cleanly sever the snake-like neck from the serpentine neck, or the head from the neck of the gold dragon.
I wonder if that'll even slow him down, because, like, does he need the body intact?
We don't know.
He specifically said he needed it intact.
Does she?
He said kill it, but leave its body intact.
Well, he to be fair, he more just said basically don't blow it up.
So you don't know if just simply cutting the head off will do anything.
Well, better than nothing.
So Matthew,
Hey.
does it do anything?
What's up? What's up?
Yes, if it
Does
doesn't
it
do
do
anything, cut off his head.
Oh well. I mean, he cuts off the head. Well, we'll have to see if Troppu even gets his feathers on it to see if it affects what he wants to do at all. Gil, that's one attack, since that wasn't technically an attack of opportunity. But since it was your turn next, I'll allow it. Do you want to keep trying to cut through the crew?
Cutting through the crew? No. He is, for lack of better way to put it, cutting this dragon into pieces, and then he is flying away and trying to grab Caro and Raccoon to get out.
Okay.
How's Caleb gonna get off the ship?
I don't know.
He doesn't know where you are, but he will go looking for you. But he's going for the ones he can see.
All right, Gil, you did hack off the head. Is there any other body parts you want to try and sever?
Wings.
All right, I'll say flat out, you're not severing this thing's wings, but you can cut off the arms.
Yeah, he'll go for an arm.
All right, attack roll.
31.
All right. You sever one of the arms, although it's still connected, like barely by tendons. It is severed, and in the confusion of you watch as you realize it wasn't even that the wings of the creature itself were letting it glide softly to the ground. It's actually that the machines are holding it up and beginning to fly it away towards the airship that Caleb's on. Literally dragging it by the harpoons they were like crucifying it upon to Troppu. The arm eventually does.
Bonus action, strike it a third time.
Okay.
Going for another leg.
All right, roll.
And that is 25.
Okay. Gil, severing a leg. This one falls free completely. The arm you cut earlier dangles by only a few tendons, and the head has fallen completely. Caro, you're surrounded by raining dragon blood, falling robots, and the head and leg of the dragon, which literally smashed through the platform on either side of you, leaving in this precarious middle ground, essentially, where the platform sways dangerously side to side from the impacts. Do you allow Gil to grab you?
Yeah.
All right. Caro,
Wait, can I
just
quickly
as the
scoop up some
platform is about to
dragon blood
give...
before I do that?
Of course. Love how everyone's just fucking harvesting this thing. It gave its life to save Gil's, and everyone's just fucking desecrating it.
I have my
I'm
reasons.
trying to say it's fitty.
I mean, to be fair, Gil is at least trying to act in a similar interest to what the dragon had been acting, of trying to stop Troppu from succeeding in some small way.
Fair. Caro, make me a survival check.
Okay.
And how are you going about gathering it? Do you have vials on hand?
Do I? Let me go check my inventory. I'll put it in my water skin.
All right, so dumping out your water skin, you start catching the raining dragon blood and scooping up some as much as you can. Survival check.
19.
All right, you managed to fill up a good chunk of the water skin almost completely to the brim, because it's a big dragon. That's a lot of blood. You start collecting dragon blood, and bam, the head smashes the platform to your right. Bam, the leg that Gil cut smashes the walkway to your left, and you're left kind of scrambling as magic items in display cases, the farms, the metal, all fall into the rotating fans and start falling into the desert below. What survives the fan just gets knocked into the sands below, falling along with Lucian. And you manage to catch a good chunk of the raining dragon blood, but the platform you're on is swaying dangerously with only the bare bones metal wiring keeping it stable before finally it gives way completely. But before you can free fall, Gil manages to catch you by the arm, and you feel a weight as Raccoon leaps from the platform and grabs onto your leg.
Strap my water skin back to me and grab Raccoon to let her get further up my body.
All right, Caro, buckling the water skin to yourself, you hoist Raccoon up so that they're not dangling over a almost 3,000 foot drop with nothing but holding onto your leg for comfort. And Gil, you lift them so that you have a better grip on them and start to make your way away as you all watch as the mechanical beasts begin to carry the dragon towards Troppu's ship. And Troppu calls out, "Ugh, it's making such a mess. Make sure it doesn't bleed out before it gets here." Lucian, 400 feet to the ground. Keep falling?
She says she falls to about 60 feet.
All right, so after this next round, you will feather fall at 60 feet, because you will ordinarily hit the ground. Caleb, moment of truth. You're at a good distance.
Here's the question. Is Troppu considered to have taken a turn in combat?
You know what? I will throw you a bone and say no. He's just been giving orders.
Okay.
Plus, I think he's...
And
even then,
not expecting this.
Yeah, if he knew you were there, you feel
But
like
the
he
thing
would
is,
probably
I
have.
don't get
And
advantage on surprising him, only on if they haven't taken the turn yet. From Assassin, unless you already get advantage for surprising them.
Typically, most DMs do that. I know that.
Yeah, most DMs rule it that way. But regardless, you would have advantage here,
Right.
so
As
it doesn't really
Troppu
matter.
says that he wants it brought to him, Kanan just says under his breath, "Not on my watch." And he's gonna try to take a shot at him to try and take him out.
Bringing your laser rifle to bear, you level the barrel between the vents. You're a real Hitman 47 about this, and you pull the trigger.
Cocked.
I'm actually really nervous.
Okay, it's gonna be a 22.
Roll for damage.
I was like worried he was gonna have like a high AC or some shit. Alright, so it's gonna be 3d8 plus 3, and then sneak attack, and it's a crit. Because I surprised him.
Yep.
And don't you have a little assassination thing that you can add to it?
I know that's a crit.
Yeah, that's why it's a crit. Yeah, because it wasn't a crit on its own. It was the fact that he hit at all that made it a crit.
Yeah, he surprised him. He didn't know that he was there.
I rolled twice the dice, right? That's how it works?
Well, you can do it that way, but how I typically do it is you roll double what you rolled. So if it's a D6, if you roll a 6, that becomes a 12. And then you add modifiers.
So double each individual roll.
Yeah, or you could just double the result, the same thing.
yeah. Like either way is fine. I just personally prefer to do it that way.
What Matthew says makes sense to me. So, and then I roll 4d6 for sneak attack.
Yeah.
I'm nervous. Yeah, I might put shit in you guys' way, but I fucking, I actually want you guys to succeed.
Yes, this is the last D6. And then +3.
I'll look up the rules for surprise. I think you do.
I'm hoping that Troppu himself isn't that strong. It's that the boss fight was his ship.
Yeah.
49 damage.
Caleb, how do you wish to assassinate Troppu Bikok?
Caleb is just going to put a shot right through his head. And I was kind of hoping that it'd be right as he's giving some kind of order, so everything on the ship just hears him get cut off.
Okay, I'll allow that.
Hopefully might give Gil an idea of where Caleb is.
Yeah, sure. I'll allow that. Caro, Raccoon, Gil, as you guys are being airlifted, or in Gil's case, airlifting away from the ship, the robots continue to drag the fallen dragon carcass towards the headquarters, and you hear Troppu's voice come over the intercom once again. And as for any intruders on this vessel, you have it on my life that the moment I get my wings on you, you're all... He suddenly falls silent, and you hear of something hitting something else before the intercom whines to a halt.
And after he takes a shot, Caleb is going to immediately bonus action dash out of this vent.
All right. Caleb,
And
I want
I'm
you to
going
appreciate...
to head that way.
Gil, you
Like,
start
towards where
cutting
the
towards...
headquarters
All right. Do you know where the headquarters are?
are. Or do I see where they're taking the dragon body? And where
They're
they
heading in that
took-
direction.
And where they took Ruby, I'm guessing. I saw that.
Okay. All right, so yeah, I'll allow that then. Gil, you start turning that way. And Caleb, just to give you a moment of appreciation for what you just did, you just sniped Troppu Bikok over several hundred feet and through bulletproof glass.
Well, it is a laser rifle.
No, yeah, I just wanted to point that out. Everything was stacked
I just
against
wanna
you.
ask, Did Caleb hear the reaction to their leader being just assassinated like that?
They actually don't seem to immediately put together that's what's happening, although you do hear some confusion rising up in the goblin ranks, and the last thing you see before you start wiggling your way back out of the vent is Brogdoo starting to dash towards the office to see what's happening.
Oh my god, they don't even know what hit them.
Well, I mean, clearly.
Yeah, because bear in mind, lasers... You actually did double his health, so that was instant death.
Wow.
No, yeah, he's a fucking weak little goblin. Like,
Yeah.
he doesn't...
Yeah, I mean, I guess I suspect him to have like more health, but yeah, I guess that's why he wanted the body to make himself stronger.
Yeah, I was basically trying to wager that the boss fight was his ship, not him.
Well, technically, you're both wrong. Now that it's not going to happen, I'll freely admit. My original plan was that you guys were going to go to Sundragon first. You would witness the dragon being shot down and captured, and the boss fight would be an Ichor beast created by a fusion of Troppu and the dragon.
Not anymore. Like Caleb said,
Was there
not
any-
in his watch. Or wait, did
Was
I
there
say?
any
Did I have him
way-
say not in his watch, or did I have him say not
Yeah,
if I have any?
You said not on my watch.
Okay.
I think you said not on my watch. And what, Gil?
Well, Caleb,
Is there any way the dragon would have survived?
Mathematically, no. There is literally... I ran the numbers. Even if the ship rolled the lowest it could without crit failing, and the dragon got a nat 20 every time, there is no mathematical way the dragon could have taken out the entire airship by itself. It just couldn't be done.
Yeah, the ship was too powerful.
Bear in mind, this ship is meant to take on armies, and it has been taking on armies by itself.
Well, hopefully without their leader, it might make them retreat.
Mm-hmm. That said, you all level up.
Also,
Troppu is dead.
Also, Caleb wriggled out of the thing, and he was going to basically try to call out to Gil.
Yeah, which we'll pick up there next session.
Oh, okay.
Because that's where we're going to end tonight's session.
Are we going to pick it up next week?
Dude, what about me? I'm still in the fucking air.
Yeah.
You have
Oh, yeah, you got
You'll learn
Featherfall. You'll be all
safely.
right.
You'll be fine.
Yeah. Yeah, you'll be all right.
So are we going to be doing next week, or are we going to be skipping next week? Even though we technically haven't gotten to the interlude.
I'll say, well, I'll tell you what. I'll let you guys pick. Do we want to take next week off just in general? I would be okay with going one or two more sessions just to actually properly wrap this arc up, but I also would not be at all opposed.
I want to properly wrap it up.
Yeah.
Okay, so,
Yeah,
Qua, is that okay with you?
Definitely proper.
that's good with
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll do another couple sessions and then take a break, and then there will be some downtime while Gil has his surgery and all that jazz. So yeah, we'll be all right. But you all level up. Troppu Cook is dead.
Mhm.
Now we just have to deal with Brogdoo.
Yeah,
Sorry that you didn't get the chance to kill Troppu.
It's okay. Carol will grab his body and throw it off of the edge.
Yeah,
She'll
I
get her
think it's
revenge.
kind
Oh, no.
of to take some kind of action in this fight.
Yeah, no, since you guys probably... I'm going to take a guess here and say that you guys aren't going to be that interested in, like, digging around to see what his motivations were, like, what his personal life was like. I don't imagine anyone cares.
I mean, that. Tough luck for him.
No.
Kato?
Carol personally doesn't, but I am interested.
No, yeah, I was going to say, since I doubt the characters are going to look into it, since Troppu's dead, I will actually point out what his motivations for being in the Concord were. Just because, again, the characters are never going to find out, or if they do, it'll be mentioned way later, so basically don't metagame with this knowledge, but since Troppu's dead and it was a, by design, very anticlimactic death, I figured I should mention it. Troppu joined the Concord. His airship basically acted as a mobile headquarters for them. And everything he did, all of the Sundragon citizens and soldiers he killed, all of him helping create Ickerbeast, everything he did in the name of the Concord and the Lady, as one of their top lieutenants, mind you, was because he was pissy that he couldn't fly. Because he's a Tengu. Most Tengu can fly from birth, but he was born disabled, so he couldn't fly. And he eventually got so bitter by this that he decided, no. Not only do I want to be able to fly, I want to have the best physical body ever. Because I'm one of the smartest people in the world, I deserve to have one of the best bodies in the world. So he joined the Concord, put this airship together, got Kaloum to build him an army of robots with intent to attack Sundragon with the express intent of luring out this gold dragon to protect them so that he could shoot it down and fuse himself with it using the Icker so that he could have his genius mind and one of the most powerful mortal bodies someone can have.
The idea of getting the body.
But you guys stopped that from happening.
A bit more.
Yeah, no, yeah. It sucks, doesn't it?
He's a complete asshole.
Yeah. So he is.
If you want to see more of my DMing, check out
Where the body.
twitch.tv/GrahamCrackers, GRAMECRACKERZ, for my Friday campaign, The Gold Shine Investigations at 7 o'clock Central Daylight Time, featuring a party of investigators trying to unravel the cultish conspiracy that threatens to plunge their home into war. Check out our website at officiald5hub.info, down for maintenance at the moment, but soon to be resurrected from the grave like a filthy necromancer desecrating the body of a dragon in hopes of gaining it. Check Check out our link in chat to join our official D5 Discord server if you want to hang out with us directly, and support our episodes posted on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, Google Podcasts, and the iHeart Podcast Network, wherever you happen to get them from. For our audio listeners, catch us live on Tuesdays at 9:30 Central Daylight Time on twitch.tv/Odd Tornado Productions, and check out Odd Tornado Productions official on Tumblr to find links to our other works, including our Human Rogues Twitch channel at twitch.tv/Killer5. That is 5 with a PH. Please don't get it wrong. And let's also just give him a hand for assassinating one of the main villains of the story. Huh?
Yeah, good job, buddy.
Yeah.
Unceremonious, yes. Hooray!
that was
Caro's
freaking,
very
like,
angry at you.
come on.
Like,
Why is that unceremonious? Like, that was like an amazing shot. He literally pried open a freaking grate, just enough to stick the freaking barrel through, and then took the shot, admittedly, probably with a little bit of a funky aim going on.
Yeah. I mean, the shot
It's more
good.
the fact that Caro wanted to kill him because, it was personal.
Yeah, Caleb does feel
It's
bad
okay.
about that. But
I
it's
mean,
like,
he's dead
felt
either
like
way, so.
He felt like he had to do something to stop the robot swarm, and the only thing he could come up with was kill its leader.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That said, Kwa, I do hope out of character you're fine.
Yeah, I'm fine. No, it was genuinely impressive.
Okay. If you enjoy what we do, please support us on Patreon at Patreon. Actually, the link's about to be posted in chat, so just go there. Or on Ko-fi at kofi.com/Odd Tornado Productions. And follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/TornadoOdd. The TNO are, in fact, capitalized. And if you like this party and want to see more of them, tune in Mondays at 9:30 Central Daylight Time to catch our Monday campaign, Under Locks and Keys, featuring a party of politicians and nobles that's this campaign, sorry.
Yeah,
Featuring a party of globetrotting treasure hunters. Featuring a party of globetrotting treasure hunters trying to assemble the artifacts of the gods in hopes of opening a doorway that hides either a valuable treasure or a deadly curse. One of the two. They have just acquired Vulcan's pistol and are now about to have a little bit of downtime before finding out where the next one is and what bullshit they'll have to do to get that one. Thanks everyone at the table so much for playing. Thanks everyone at home so much for watching. And we'll see you all next week.
Hey.
Now, something funny I want to